Yes, people. You know the vibes. Welcome back to another match preview. Welcome back to another live stream. Day off yesterday, but sometimes you just need to. It's good for the mind. And when there's barely anything Chelsea to talk about, you might as well not rush it either. Plus, it makes the next stream that much more fun to do because you come in with a bit of a refreshed head. But of course, I come with a refreshed panel and the best panel possible as well. First off, partner in crime, Lawrence. What are you telling me, man?
Bro, I'm good. I'm good. I mean, that result earlier in the Manchester Derby was somewhat unexpected, but hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. We move. Let's see what happens from there on. What matters is that we get the derby. It's weird because our last game was on Thursday. Thursday already feels like it's kind of the weekend, way more than Monday does. So in my head, it's not like we're playing last. In my head, it's we played first, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's start of the new week and everything. I get that, and it's a 6 o'clock kickoff as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is there two Premier League games?
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, who else is playing?
Let me get it up.
I forget. I'll check out.
West Ham Leeds.
Yeah,
West Ham. Oh, okay, cool. I can put that in the background of my review. Nice, like that. Also, welcome to the channel. First time and well overdue as well. Jam, what are you telling me, bro?
Thanks, Lewis, my man. I'm all good. I mean, just like Lawrence said, he brought up that game, the Manchester Derby. It didn't go our way, but, you'd think Chelsea would have to, get the top four themselves, get those Ws. So, yeah, I'm all good. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. A brand new week. Hopefully we start it right. But thank you very much for having me, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, first of many, bro. Sure, definitely gonna happen,
Definitely.
man. Johnny, as well, my guy, talk to me because
Yes.
it's been a great week for you. I already know that.
yeah, man. All good. Big up everyone supporting the Lewis and the boys. Yeah, like buzzing. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow's game. I think we just stick to our guns, keep going. Let's snowball it. Let's just keep winning because everyone seems to be getting results here and there. But I'm not too worried, man. Not too worried at all.
Yeah, this Chelsea-Everton game, low-key, we've all been looking at the Liverpool match and earmarking that for the importance of playing against the Premier League champions. But this Everton game is probably as important, if not more important now as well, because Liverpool's gone and lost to Fulham as well. Because now it's still the same situation that we were in last week, where it's fourth versus fifth. We've got a Merseyside team that's a point behind us, and if they win this game, they go ahead of us. And low-key, they're the better Merseyside team. I mean, form speaks for itself. Liverpool have fallen off an absolute cliff, but Everton are more resolute defensively. They've won their last 3 games without conceding a goal. They've won their last 2 games with 1-0 scorelines as well, which shows that they can grind out a result. Low-key, we shouldn't be underestimating Everton because we are getting gassed off the run that we've had. And you know what? We deserve it because we've beaten Atletico Madrid. We've beaten Liverpool. We've had so many worries about our ability against the top sides. We've just blown it out of the water the last few games. But we also can't get too complacent. And we also can't underestimate the threat that Everton have. First thing I want to ask, going into the game, how confident is everyone based off the Liverpool game? Because we also still have a reason to be confident and believe in our side. But how optimistic are you guys going into this game anyway? Johnny, I'll start with you.
I'm very, very confident. I think what Tuchel's doing is incredible at the minute. He's really got this side finally balanced, I would say. I think our final third could still needs a bit of a tweak and a lot of working done on it, but we're getting the results and that's what matters, and we're not conceding. Credit to AC obviously and Rudiger, they're doing the business, but I'm confident. I think obviously Everton they're a decent side, let's have it right, so we need to be cautious, but at the same time I think we're playing so well that we've got the mentality right now to really push on and get those 3 points. I think if we do get the 3 points, that just keeps them at bay. I know they've got a game in hand, but they'll still be, even winning that game in hand, they'll be behind us. So I think we need to win this game. I feel like I'm saying that every game, but I think this one's a really important one, just to let everyone know that we're serious top 4 contenders,
Yeah, I definitely echo those statements as well. And it's the thing, you're correct about the fact that our play in the final third hasn't been good throughout Tuchel's reign, and it's just been the entire season and the last few seasons in general. And low-key, Everton could try and play to that because they can sit back and they can play defensive, and they've done it to good effect in previous games as well. Like the Liverpool game, for example, they sat deep in the back five as well. And the toughest games that we've had this season have been against teams that play five at the back, or even in the case of Atletico when they're putting 7 or 8 at the back. So looking at this Everton game, low-key, it's going to be another one of them where we're going to have to break down a team, and they've got a really tough structure about them, but with the injuries as well, we might stand a bit of a chance. I know Yerry Mina's out for this game. I know Seamus Coleman and Davies might be a doubt for this game as well. So low-key, we could try and use that to our advantage. Jam, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, do you know what? I mean, going in from the Liverpool win, I'm feeling confident in Chelsea and the approach that we will have in Tuchel. The only thing is, Everton, just like you said, they can actually, when they play away, they sit quite deep and they can counter with pace. Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison, deadly duo. Really, they really are deadly. And you've got James pinging in balls behind, or Sigurdsson or something. It's a bit peak, but I think our formation is good enough to sort of combat against that. I think we're looking quite robust. The only trouble is going to be our attack. We need to win this game, ideally, to give us a bit of daylight between us and the chasing pack, because Everton have got a game in hand on us and they're a point behind. Tottenham, they played the same amount of games. They're 2 points behind us. West Ham have got a game in hand. They're 2 points behind us. So technically, if they were to win their games in hand against us, it's a bit peak. So, at the very least, we have to draw this game. But realistically, let's get a win and we're putting it back into our hands, really. So, yeah, I'm feeling confident. But then at the same time, seeing Liverpool lose at home today to Fulham kind of took the gloss off our win slightly, just a little bit, if you know what I mean. It's kind of not making it look as good as it was. I mean, it was a very good performance. Liverpool's still good, but do you know what I mean? It's just like, well, Fulham can do it too.
Everyone can go there and get points now.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe Friday I was feeling more confident than I am today. I'm being a bit more realistic now because this is a tougher game than that. It really is, like you said. So, yeah, I think we could get a W. I mean, we'll go into score predictions later. But, I'm all right. I'm feeling pretty optimistic about it overall.
Yeah, and that's a good way of thinking about it too. And I wanted to touch on this topic later, but we might as well get into it now because we're all saying how big this win is for us in terms of the top 4 race. But really and truly, this is basically a top 4 match in itself. If Everton can come to Stamford Bridge and get a result, like you said, they will be 2 points ahead of us with a game in hand on us as well. We're down to 11 or 12 games to the end of the season. So, exactly that. So, we're already looking towards a run into the end of the season. And if Everton can get a big result at Stamford Bridge, they're going to be fancying their chance for top 4 as well. But, Lawrence, what's your thoughts of the Everton game and what are your thoughts on Everton's top 4 potential as well?
Well, the thoughts on Everton, it's a tricky one because they've started the season really well. They were up there. Like, weren't they even top of the league one day or something? Like, at least for a few hours before. Yeah, exactly. A bit like ourselves, obviously, like Spurs were as well. And then they had this quite a bad slump, when they lost to 2-0, 3-0 against Fulham or something, which just shouldn't be happening to them. And they had more poor results around Christmas. Can't remember the exact dates, but over winter anyway. But now recently they've caught themselves again, almost a little bit like us, just without a manager change. They're not conceding goals. They're not scoring crazy amounts, but they're scoring they're scoring 1, they're scoring 2, and they're getting results. Obviously, they had, even for the last game, they had a couple, 3 people injured, important players in James, and Seamus Coleman was out, and Tom Davies, okay, maybe doesn't play that much, but still important players, and they should probably be back tomorrow as well. So it definitely won't be easy. And their top 4 chances, it's weird because, like you said, we still have 11 games, to go, including tomorrow. So realistically, with more than 30 points left to play, you shouldn't be saying tomorrow is the decider for anything. But I do see it like if we beat Everton tomorrow, that's probably them out of the top 4 race, or at least out of the top 4 race with us, if that makes sense. Obviously, you never know. First of all, I don't know how long Ashley Barnes, not Ashley Barnes. What's the Barnes for Leicester called? Him anyway.
Harvey Barnes.
There you go, Harvey Barnes. I don't know how long he's going to be out for. Obviously, their left back is out for a while, and they're suffering a lot of injuries. I think they currently even have more players injured than Liverpool do, actually. you hear less crying less about it, but is what it is. I've never heard a single Leicester fan cry about it, to be honest. But anyway, regardless, they might still drop just because they dropped the ball last season already. But yeah, I mean, am I a fan of Everton? No. Do I prefer them to Liverpool? Probably yes.
Yeah.
So it would just be kind of funny if they were like not even just ahead of Liverpool, but in the top 4, as long as it's not instead of us.
I feel like just for their sake, I just hope they do better in the Champions League than last time, because last time they even made it through fucking qualifiers. In terms of Everton, then we expect them to set up with a back 5, then, right?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, so with that in mind, then, if we're looking at the lineup, right, we'll just start up front first of all, because that's where the big debate is. If they're going to sit deep, what 3 do you guys want to see for this game? Johnny, I'll start with you.
Well, I definitely want to see Mount there, Money Mason there. I would play. I'd still go with Werner. Actually, I think Werner's got I think he'll score in this game. He's due a goal, and then maybe how we played with against Liverpool. So Ziyech again, potentially.
You go Ziyech for a third match?
Possibly, because I thought he played decent against Liverpool. I think he's coming into a run of games now where, I mean, against United he was awful, minus sort of 15, 20 minutes. But he's going to play a Doy, I reckon, wing back. So I'd probably go Ziyech. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, Tuchel's so unpredictable, man.
That's the thing. Like, whatever we say, we're probably going to get wrong.
Yeah.
And I understand you saying Ziyech on the case that he needs to get matched up. And maybe it's the case that you do need to force him through these runner games just to get the best out of it. And I'll give him credit. He settles into games better. But I still don't think he starts the game outright, which is why maybe I can be pushed into starting him for another game, but same way I'd be worried about his output from the start. But I understand that as well. You'd say Ziyech on the right and Werner on the left, right?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, I'd love to see Havertz play a false 9. Because the way I look at it is we've got Letty as well, and Mount's not going to play. So, I mean, that's got to be an opening for Havertz. But if he's not getting any games before that game, it's a huge game of high magnitude to go into and just be thrown in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. We might be surprised. I think Tuchel is working on the false 9, but whether Kai is ready for that, I don't know. But yeah, I'm sort of thinking we got such a great result against Liverpool, and they actually come on to us as well. So I don't know. What do you guys reckon, man?
Yeah, Loz, because I was going to push this to you as well, because we were talking about Kai Havertz playing the false 9 on your stream, and we've had a couple hours to mull on it as well. What are your thoughts? Because we went to the conclusion that, to be honest, if there's a good game to try out, it's probably this game. The Leeds United game for me, with Kai Havertz's struggles adapting to the intensity of the Premier League, it's not really the best to throw him against Leeds, who aren't going to give him a lot of time on the ball. Whereas Everton, if they drop deep, they'll give him little pockets of space they can try and make the most out of. And he has a little bit more time. Like, I only say a little bit because we're still in the Premier League, and it's not like they're just going to sit deep on him for 90 minutes. But it's not going to be like Leeds, where you have to think instinctively with these lot because they're going to send 3 players at you immediately.
It's a weird one because, like you said, we spoke about that and we both came to the conclusion that we'd actually both like to see him start. Like Johnny said, Mount, for the time being, at least is undroppable. So he has to start, quite frankly. Whether it's the left hand or the right hand, doesn't really matter. He has to start. Obviously, more of a go threat maybe on the left, but more suitable to maybe helping Callum out in case he plays as a right wing back than playing, say, I don't know, Ziyech there. I know Ziyech is obviously used to playing the wide right position more than Mount is, but it still feels like the right side has more defensive cover with Mount there than it is with Ziyech there. Whether it's in terms of pressing and then allowing the wing back to drop a bit deeper, whatever it is. But yeah, Mount, like I said, Havertz, whether it's a proper 9 or a false 9, I'm not really particularly bothered, especially against the deep-sitting team. It doesn't really make a difference. And then at left wing, I'm not 1,000% sure whether I'd want this, but Werner is starting, so he'll probably start at left 10. And I wouldn't be totally against it. Like I said, he was good against Liverpool, even though it was a totally different game. He was good against them. And the problem I also see with this is whenever Pulisic has come on, I've not really seen him do enough that I'm like, yeah, you're doing this and this more than Werner would. I have this in my head, but in terms of what we've seen from Pulisic recently, that's actually not true. You could make a case for Hudson-Odoi on the left-hand side, but I'd rather see him at right wing back, to be honest, to break down a low block. So that's out of the equation, and then I don't want Ziyech just on the left either. So that leaves me with Timo Werner, and I'm okay with it, let's say. And I just hope that at some point the lock just breaks, it just clicks. Do you know what I mean? Because he got that goal against Morecambe. He got that goal against who was it? Newcastle. Yeah, Newcastle.
Yeah,
he got the goal against Newcastle. Yeah, exactly. And then obviously he had the offside goal against Liverpool, which realistically probably should have stood. But it didn't at the end of the day. And it feels like he doesn't need one goal in one game. He doesn't even need a brace or a hat-trick in one game. He needs to find his confidence is that he gets a goal, at least one, in 2 or 3 games in a row. That's what gets him a click. Not like an odd game. Because he's had that with Morecambe already. He had that with Newcastle already. And it didn't really give us that click. So if he can somehow get 1 or 2 goals, I'm happy. But at the end of the day, I rambled on for a bit there, but that's probably my front 3, just because I don't like Werner and Giroud together, and who knows whether Tammy's even fit.
Yeah, I was going to say, so we're going to lean towards Werner on the left instead of Pulisic.
I would, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I understand that as well, because like you said already, Christian Pulisic's form hasn't been good enough this season. And me as well, I've already said this entire season. I say in all the streams I've done so far, I'm going to keep echoing it till the end of the season. I don't care how much game time Pulisic gets this season. I care about the amount of injuries that he racks up. If we stop him getting injuries continuously through the season, at the very least, we can still use him in the future. If he keeps getting these muscular injuries, he's going to be dusted by the age of 24. And then we ain't going to be able to recoup any value for him. So
just ease him in.
Yeah, ease him in, but slowly. Like as soon as he came back from the FA Cup final, I was saying, I don't care how much game time he plays this season. Because we have a squad that's good enough to replicate that. We have players like Ziyech and Hudson-Odoi who aren't going to be massive drop-offs in quality. If anything, they've been better than he's been this season. So yeah, Pulisic can be our 3rd, 4th choice winger for this season. There's nothing against his ability. It's just I want this guy to stop getting injured, because if he gets a few more, then we ain't going to be able to get the best out of him. We ain't going to be able to sell him. We're just going to be stuck with him for marketing purposes, and that ain't really going to be all that. But Jam, what are your thoughts on the front 3? Do you basically echo the same thing we've been saying, or you got another thoughts?
Am I guessing what Tuchel's going to put, or am I saying what my preferred would be?
Your preferred. Because Tuchel don't got anything on our heads.
Yeah. All right. So my preferred front 3 would actually be, I think we're going to need some troublemakers in the team, players that can unlock a low block from Everton. So for that reason, I personally wouldn't want to see Timo Werner playing in this game, because I don't think there'll be enough space for him. But I'd like to see Mason Mount and Ziyech, or maybe Pulisic. Now, Ziyech, because he's had the game time recently, Pulisic has had more game time than Havertz has had. I just don't know about putting him straight into start. I feel like he needs to get some more minutes off the bench, and I mean like 30 minutes in one game, maybe coming off the bench in this one and seeing how it goes. But then I actually want to see the French Johnny Bravo up front, Giroud. I say that because I just feel like in such a game, we might get a little bit stuck for ideas, and having that variation of being able to just cross a ball and hopefully not get to the point where we're just crossing it for crossing's sake, but having him in the box just for those weird finishes he has, I think that would be quite good for variation in our game. So I'd go with Giroud up front. So I'm going to say Mount, Giroud, and Ziyech.
Mount, Giroud, and Ziyech. Okay, so you were saying drop Werner. Lawrence, you were saying start Werner, but you were leaning towards it as well. Do you still echo the same thing now?
Yeah, I mean, I totally see what Jam is saying there. I don't know. I think we've had the Giroud thing in the league a fair few times, and we had it against low blocks. And I know he scored when he came on against Newcastle. Was it Newcastle? Yeah. Obviously, Tammy got injured early in the game, and then Giroud came on and scored. scored the rebound from whoever shot it was. Can't remember. Alonso's shot, maybe? Honestly, for the life of me, can't remember. Scores the rebound. Then, no, it was a Werner cross and the ball fell to Giroud. But other than that, Giroud really hasn't clicked like at all in the Prem.
No.
Like whenever an opponent has sat deep and we pump crosses in there, they usually have 2 or 3 in the middle of the box while he's the only one, no matter how good in the air he is, no matter how tall and strong he is. It doesn't matter who you are. Even to some extent, someone crazy like Didier Drogba, one of the best headers of the ball of all time, even he at times struggled against 3-man defenses or low block defenses because, yeah, it makes sense. You're forced to cross the ball because you can't get down the middle because they block everything up. But it's so much more difficult to actually get anybody on it because the crowd is so the box is so crowded. So I feel like having someone that can properly move and can shift almost positions like Kai Havertz as the 9 would be ideal. Obviously, I totally see what Jam is saying, and if we were going more in the direction of predicted 11, I really don't see Havertz starting. But in terms of just what I would like, I don't know. I just feel like he would provide us more movement, whether it's changing between a false 9, a 10, a proper 9, because he has the physical attributes to be up top by himself as well, more so than arguably Werner does, let's be honest. But he also has the versatility to shift either left or right, and for example to the left to let Werner in the middle for part of the game if Everton ever shift a bit higher up the pitch and don't sit back, and we have the chance to play balls over the top again like it was against Liverpool. And I think that's an impossible switch to make with Giroud. Of course, Jam didn't say start Giroud and Werner together. I don't know. I haven't seen enough from Ziyech to want him to start again. Like, I know Johnny said he thought he was decent against Liverpool. I thought he was similar to the United game, not to the level of bad in the first half, but he had a 10-15 minute period in the second half before he came off. But other than that, I thought he was pretty dreadful again. Dreadful in a level of a very good overall performance of the entire team against Liverpool. But I thought he was quite clearly the worst player on the team that day. And I'm not trying to slander Ziyech at all here. I mean, people have heard the things I've said about Timo Werner, so I'm being extremely nice to Ziyech here. But I don't know. I just don't think Pulisic or Ziyech just give us what we need right now. And I'm not 100% sure Werner will either. But he's shown more close to it glimpses recently than the other two have.
I just thought of something, a spanner in the works. Well, with Ziyech, I think if James plays, Ziyech plays. If Odoi plays, I think Mount goes to the right, Werner will go to the left, and then you'll have Tammy Abraham up front. And I've got this weird feeling. I think
Tammy should. I think he's our only injury for this game.
Is he definitely an injury? Because
I think it's a knock. Let me check. Because when was the pre-match press conference? This was.
It was just on Thursday, straight after the game. Yeah. So it's like,
slight doubt. Thiago Silva, realistically, Thiago Silva's probably fit to start. It's just we'll talk into the centre-back situation anyway. But Thiago Silva should be fit. What's his name? Tammy Abraham's probably going to be our only injury going into this game, and even without the injury, I can't lie. Based on form, I wouldn't really start Tammy Abraham. Yeah. Just based off the Southampton game as well, I just don't have the confidence in him right now that I would have.
Something Tuchel would do this is what I mean. I reckon it's something Tuchel would, if he was sort of ready to play, you'd see that in the lineup and go, "What the hell?"
I know Tammy was training apparently. So he might still be around. But
the problem is with pictures of training, it's always you don't know. Like sometimes players do like the first couple of like exercises or whatever of part of the whole session, but they only do the first 10, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour. And when it gets to the more serious work, they go back inside with the physio. So it's never 100% guarantee that they're back in training if the club don't say they're back in full training.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
but cool. Mount's the first starter, for everyone.
Oh yeah, Mount's
starter.
Yeah.
No, without a doubt. That's something we can all agree. Mason Mount starter.
Hive, man, come on.
Yeah, man.
Come on, man. Hive, we out here. AC Hive, we out here. Everyone's out.
All this talk of rested him.
Hey, this is squash, bro. This is just squash. It's nothing. It's nothing that fucked up. I ain't put a cocktail or nothing in this.
Man's watched too much Simpsons. I'm telling you, bro.
What was that?
Yeah, you've watched too much Simpsons,
I haven't watched Simpsons in a minute. I can't lie. Midfield probably speaks for itself. Tuchel was saying rest and N'Golo Kante a little bit. So with that in mind and him starting the last 2 games, I don't think he starts this game. Probably Jorginho and Kovacic, right? We're all in agreement on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, you don't need to stick too
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Wing backs. There's a question on the wing backs now. Do
Mm.
we go for Alonso or do we go for Chilwell first off? Because it's going to be a more defensive team. So with
Chili
that in mind,
me.
it leans
How
more
about
towards
Chili?
Alonso. Even though I'm not here trying to advocate Marcus Alonso to start because I prefer Ben Chilwell overall. But do you think he's going to start regardless? Because this game might suit Alonso more than the last few teams we've been playing. Jam, you look like you got something you want to say.
Yeah, man. Let's have it right. Iron Alonso. No, a lot.
How you
Look,
bastard like the name of a cult hero like Iron Robin like that? I can't be on.
But this is the type of game where he's just going to ping one top bins. No.
Yeah.
Look, to be honest, I mean, I'm not necessarily Alonso's biggest fan. I mean, look, when he's running, let's be real, it's like he's running through porridge. The guy's that slow. But in a game like this, it kind of does suit him because we're playing against a low block. I think Chelsea really need all the attacking prowess that they can have on the pitch. I really do think we need more attackers. And to me, in my mind, he counts as more of an attacker than Chilwell in that sense. He will always pop up with a random goal, whether it's being on the back post for any headers or volleys or anything like that. He's just very good at that. So I would prefer to play Alonso in this game. Although Everton are good on the counter-attack, I think this formation has enough cover in it to get him out of jail. So I'm happy with Alonso playing in this game. In fact, I think he should do. In terms of rotation too, I think this is the game for him, to be honest. And Cho on the other side.
You sound really confident on Alonso playing in general. What's your thoughts on him being under Tuchel?
Do you know what? Under Tuchel, he's been fine. I don't like him personally in a sense. He's not my long-term option. But I respect the level of his performances. He's obviously had some sort of mentality shift. When Tuchel's come in, he's come in and gone, do you know what? This is my position. I'm going to play for it. I'm going to play for the shirt and just see what I can do, right? And he's done well. Let's be honest. Long term, it's got to be Chilwell. I think Chilwell being on the bench, I think Tuchel's managed him well because let's be honest, before he came in, he wasn't in the best of form. And I think he was just being overplayed maybe. And sometimes that works for some players where they're played into form. But sometimes I think you just need to protect someone, upstairs a little bit. So it was good for him to come away, go back on the training pitch, work his socks off. There was no trouble with Chilwell, not playing. Like apparently he was happy to try and work his way back in the team, and he acknowledged Alonso had been really good, and the left wing back position suits him. So I think Chilwell long term is going to be the guy. I think sometimes you need this, in part of your development. Chilwell, when he really nails down how to play the left wing back position, it's got to be him. He's faster. Look at the way he played against Liverpool, up and down. It was unreal. Alonso can't really do that. When he goes up, he's up for 10 minutes. It's peak. So, I mean, I respect Alonso, but Chilwell, man. Chilwell long term, easily.
Oh, Chilwell long term, thank God. Yeah, cool. All right, we'll take that. Alonso, I understand it. I always have my worries with Alonso, but under Tuchel, when you're playing the right sort of team, it kind of makes sense to go for it. Like, I thought my idea of Alonso playing under Tuchel really turned the corner in the Newcastle game because I was seeing how him and Timo Werner were linking up on the left-hand side. And it was actually making Werner look better when he played deeper on the left wing. And after everything we've seen this season, that was a bit of a madness in itself. But Lawrence, going into you as well, Alonso or Chilwell for the Everton game tomorrow? What's your thoughts?
I totally see what Jam is coming from. We're maybe preferring Alonso because he definitely is a bigger goal threat. I just think what we lack sometimes is more so than a finish because Ziyech had 2 sitters. But other than that, we way too often create like half chances where the final ball isn't that good or the finish is so difficult that it would require a really good finish to score from it. And I think Chilwell helps us more in the creation of those. Just, you can name the goal against Sheffield United by Mason Mount. Chilwell played Werner in. You can name a situation, the Ziyech chance against Manchester United. played cut back by Chilwell. Even the chance against Liverpool to make it 2-0, Chilwell shot from close distance that Alisson parried in the middle and fell to Ziyech, and he took the shot that got blocked off the line. So I agree, Alonso is a bigger goal threat, but is he a bigger asset going forward? I've disagreed since the day Alonso came back in the side. I don't think so. He's so bad at crossing, and he might be decent at crossing if he has all the time in the world, but half the time he gets the ball in a good position to cross, but it would have to be first or second time, and he's not doing it. And then he waits and he waits and he waits and he crosses it against this man. Yeah, okay, that always leads to a corner, and certainly had parts of the season where we were more dangerous from corners than now. I'm just not sure if Alonso is actually the bigger threat in terms of going forward. Like I said, goal threat for sure. And also, I think against Everton, we probably shouldn't play Alonso and Hudson-Odoi. And I'd rather play Hudson-Odoi at wing-back than I'd play Alonso. So I'd go Chilwell, Hudson-Odoi, if that makes sense, to be a bit more defensively solid on one side. Obviously, you could do Alonso Reece, but if we did that, I wouldn't start Werner, but Hudson-Odoi at left wing. Maybe would then think about the Giroud up top rather than Havertz, but I definitely think Hudson-Odoi should start, because obviously he didn't start the last game. He came off at half-time against Manchester United. I think he deserves to play. I don't think he's been bad enough to not start 2 games in a row when I see other players that, like Ziyech, start 2 in a row. Like that I don't get on board with. So I think Hudson-Odoi has to start with his right wing-back or left number 10, whatever. But yeah, to make Hudson-Odoi right wing-back work, I think we should probably go for Chilwell on the left.
Wait, for who at the back?
Chilwell left wing back. Chilwell at left wing back and Hudson-Odoi right wing back.
Okay, yeah, because I think another one we're all in agreement is that Hudson-Odoi probably plays on the right-hand side, mainly because they're going to sit deep as well, so we can use him as more of a wide winger in that sort of role. But yeah, to counteract that, Ben Chilwell does work against that better, but we've done both of them against similar teams as well, and it's worked too. So I understand both the case for Alonso and Chilwell starting. Johnny, what's your thoughts?
I've got a funny feeling he's going to stick Alonso in tomorrow. But my logic behind the wing back issue is if you're going to play Odoi, I definitely don't see Ziyech on the right, and I see Mount on the right with Odoi, because I just think they've got a better chemistry. And then on the left, if Chilwell plays, I feel Mount's got to go on the left, because he protected Chilwell and worked with Chilwell and Werner really well, with Werner centre forward. And then on the right, I'd have James and Ziyech. So I think it's down to what I just feel with Odoi. If you're playing Odoi, you need someone like Mason Mount to work with him, support him, because I just don't feel he's good enough defensively. Whereas James, he can go forward. He's got a great crossing ability, but he's more defensive minded. So in that respect, you could afford to put Ziyech on the right for this game. With Alonso, if you're playing Alonso, I feel he works all right with Werner on the left. But if Werner's playing centre forward, who do you want there on the left to support Alonso? Because let's say we're pushed right up in Everton's defence and we lose the ball. He's so slow getting back. You're leaving your whole left side open. So you need someone like Mount who's got that energy to work and support him. So that I would go with Chilwell, and I would put Mount on the left side, have Werner up top, and then have your Ziyech and James on the right. That's how I'd go.
All right, yeah.
Do you see my thought process though? Is I'm working with like how they work together as in attack as well as defensively.
Yeah, you're thinking in more in terms of a system. Yeah, I understand that. I'd probably go, if I had a gun to my head, I'd probably go Hudson-Odoi and Chilwell. Only because for me, it's more covering back defensively and everything. Because Everton are going to sit deep, but they are going to be a huge threat going forward, and they're going to be able to counter-attack with pace. And I think with Marcos Alonso, if you catch him out in the space of a transition, he ain't going to be able to come back. And I've seen Marcos Alonso plenty of times where if he knows he ain't coming back, sometimes he don't even bother to make the run back. So I need to go for a Ben Chilwell, even though he could probably struggle as well. recent form he has struggled too, but he looks to be turning a bit of a new corner, especially in the last game as well. So I just push for Ben Chilwell more as an option. But I understand Alonso started as well because with the team that we're playing, it makes sense. Moving on to the back three, and this one's interesting in itself because Thiago Silva really and truly should be back in time for this match. And then it opens the question of, does he come back? If he does come back, who does he replace? And do we even replace him right now? Because I've always been saying play players based on merit, not based on ability. And I know based on ability, Thiago Silva moonwalks back into this Chelsea side, regardless of how well we've been playing. It is what it is. He's a quality player. He's one of the best centre-backs in the league. But right now, do we change what isn't broken? Like, one of the biggest criticisms under Frank Lampard when he first joined us for his first season was that we kept changing our back four and there wasn't anything sustainable or anything like that. I think we had 22 different defensive formations in 41 games under Frank Lampard, and that was a huge question mark. So with that in mind, our back three's working well. Thiago Silva obviously shouldn't be sitting on the bench for too long, but we're also in no need to rush him back. And Thiago Silva also struggled in the air in the last game against Everton. I don't feel anyone's remembered that either. And he's going to have that same sort of threat going forward again in this match. And it's going to be his first game back, so he's not really match sharp too. So with that in mind, would you guys change the back three? And if you would, who would you change it with? Johnny, I'll start with you.
For this specific game, I wouldn't change it. I would, because I would like to see Silva not risk getting any injury because I want him for the Atletico game. In my mind, that's where the game he has to play. I want that experience at the back in a game of that huge importance. But I think right now Christensen and Rudiger and Azpilicueta are playing amazing. We're not leaking goals. Everything works. You can see even with the pivot, if Tuchel changes the pivot in front, it doesn't phase them at all. So yeah, I wouldn't change it, especially for this game. Leeds game, maybe you could see Silva getting a look in for that one to ease him in for the Letty game. But I feel right. Even if you did change it and you put Thiago Silva in, he's so good that it won't really affect us too much. I think it's like, don't rush him back, ease him in, and I feel we can still win the game if he doesn't play. That's where I'm going.
Yeah, Jam, do you echo the same sort of statements, or are you feeling something different for this game too?
No, exactly the same. I mean, look, let's be real. Thiago Silva's had a muscle injury for a few weeks. He's been out for a few weeks. Is there really any need to drop him back into this game straight away? We're not desperate. And, it's a big game, and we've got a back three right now that have got good chemistry. They've all done well individually as well as a team. Why change it? There really is no need. I think, like Johnny said, if Thiago Silva were to come in, yeah, absolutely fine with that. It's not going to really change anything. I don't think it will have a negative impact on the team. But realistically, let's look after him a bit. We don't need to rush him. This is a big game. Let's go with what is working right now. If it's not broken, don't fix it. So trust the back three. And I think it would send out a bit of a negative message if they were just to drop him straight back in. I don't think there's any need to do that. So let's just keep him on the bench and work him back in slowly. Maybe the next game he could start or something.
Yeah, I understand that as well. And that was also a worry point I had too, because a lot of people were saying as soon as Silva comes back into it, Christian has to get dropped and everything. And I understand that in terms of ability. Like, I'm never even going to bother making that debate over who's better. But the question is of confidence. And I've always said Christensen's a confidence player. If you look at the last 7 games that he's had, 2 man of the matches, no goals conceded. I think no losses. That's it, but 1 goal conceded. You look at the form that he's been playing as well in these 7 games, and then you bench him immediately for Thiago Silva. All it does is butcher his confidence because you're telling him, regardless of how good you're playing, as soon as Silva comes, you're warming the bench, and it is what it is. If that happened, I wouldn't be surprised if he left in the summer. And low-key as well, Thiago Silva isn't our future. Like, Thiago Silva's great now for the present, but he isn't our future. So with that in mind, the 3 players that we have, even Azpilicueta to an extent, is more our future than Thiago Silva would be. So, but that also makes a question where if you want to make the change, I think it's only Azpilicueta that would drop out of the back three. Lawrence, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I do definitely echo what Johnny and Jam have said. We need to keep it the same for this one. I also wouldn't be 100% certain if Thiago is actually fully fit because he returned to full training like on Wednesday, like a day before Liverpool. I know it's been a fair few days since then, but we've seen the likes of Pulisic and Havertz and God knows who else this season that have been injured. Ziyech been in training for 5 days and they haven't seen the light of the pitch for another 2 weeks after. So, like, I wouldn't be 100% convinced that he's even in the squad tomorrow, to be honest. But whether he is fit or not, I would keep it the same. I would also keep it the same against Leeds because with Leeds pace, I really don't need another. You know how Thiago Silva did his muscle in, had to go for a sprint to clear and over the top ball. So I don't really want him to start against Leeds at all. Quite frankly, I think the game where he needs to start is Atletico, like Johnny said. Even though it's weird because I know it's a European game, but I'll definitely make the case that tomorrow's game is more important than Atletico.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, in terms of the league, yeah.
No, not even just in terms of the league, because it's more important to make top four than to go to the quarterfinals.
Yes, because really and truly, Champions League, it's probably not happening. Probably not happening, but
yeah,
probably.
Exactly. Obviously, if you want to think far and you want to say we want to win the thing, that's all well and good. But in terms of just looking at this match isolated, it's more important in the table than it is whether we go out of Europe or not, if that makes sense. But regardless, Atletico with the team they are, that's when we need Thiago Silva's experience.
Yeah.
In holding on to a lead, because it's a different matter as in starting the game 0-0 and you need to do what you need to do. We go into the game 1-0. Let's see whether that affects Tuchel's approach to the game. But I still think, especially against such an experienced side as Atletico with Suarez up top, I want an experienced centre-back there. And I know Aspi's experienced. Excuse me. And Aspi's played a Champions League semi-final and won the Europa League twice and everything, right? But it's still not Thiago Silva. And it's still not both of them together, by the way. So I would just leave Christensen out for that one. And hey, if we do, that's not even like, for me, then full stop dropping Christensen. Who knows? By that point, Rudiger might have made a howler. Aspies might have made a howler. And then you can consider playing Christensen at right centre back and Thiago Silva in the middle. At least in games when we want to be an extra bit defensive, if that makes sense. So I don't think we need to right now make a decision what do we do after Atletico. Just go with the same for tomorrow and Leeds. Go with Thiago against Atletico, and then we see who we drop for who, kind of thing.
I've only got one thing with that, and you said a lot of things I agree with, like nearly everything. But if we're talking about match sharpness and everything, would it make sense to throw Thiago Silva in his first game against Atletico?
I think for a 36-year-old Thiago Silva, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's world class, Lewis. I mean, we need that. We need that.
No, I'm not saying anything in terms of not playing him. Like, I think Thiago Silva versus Atletico is the right call. I just worry about his sharpness for that game, because you're throwing him in his first game back against one of the best teams in the world, and they have to go and get a performance in this game. Sure. They have to go out on the attack, so they probably look to target him.
I know, but I think in terms of the game, how the game will be, I think it will be more his bread and butter, what he will have to do against Atletico, than it will be against Leeds. And like I said, I don't even fully believe that he's fit to play tomorrow anyway. So tomorrow is out of the question. Yeah. But I just don't really want him to play against Leeds. I think that's about the last game I would want Thiago Silva to come back in. Just because with how Leeds play, I don't want Silva to be strained physically too much in his first game back. And I think that will actually be less so the case against Atletico. I think Atletico will be all about mind games, intelligence with the likes of Suarez, positioning, the little nudges rather than the full sprints, the tough tackles. I think it will be much more about that, and that's why I need him in. And I think that's fine whether it's his first game back.
You know what another reason is as well, guys, is Mount's not playing and Jorginho's not playing. And for me, Mount is like backbone for our team. So he's not in the side. So we need someone of Thiago Silva's leadership and power in the team to help us, because Jorginho's not in there as well. So yeah, I'd definitely play him for Letty. Definitely.
Now, you know what? Yeah, you're warming me to the idea more the more you said, especially with the leadership thing, because Jorginho's out and Mason Mounts. That's two big leaders in our squad that's going to be gone. And the thing is as well, it's only really that game or the Sheffield United Cup match, because after that's the international break, and you lot have heard the rumours about Tuchel not allowing players to go out for international duty, and I think Brazil's one of the countries on England's red list for no travel. So with that in mind, Thiago Silva definitely can't travel. So that'll be another 2
Good
weeks
shout.
of time for him as
Mhm.
well. So
Very good shout.
yeah,
No,
so
that's a
you
good
know
one.
what? Maybe the Atletico Madrid is the right game for it. You know what? You lot are right on that. That's cool.
We beat them, we're winning it, boys. I'm telling you. We beat Atletico.
Oh,
We're going to go all the
Oh,
way.
that's a call,
Honestly,
bro. That is a
yeah.
call to make.
I've said
Johnny,
it from the
Bayern,
start.
this is why I
I
like
said it
you,
even
man.
with Lamps. I said it
I
even
like
with
that.
Lamps. Yeah,
What
I've
happened the
got
last
vibes.
time we sacked our manager in the middle of a Champions League run?
Yeah.
Let me not say too much. But yeah, as the last question to you guys, score predictions. What's your thoughts? Lawrence, I'll go with you.
I think I'll stick to what I said on my stream with you earlier. I think I'm going to stick to a 2-0 win. I'm not like super crazy confident, but I think our defense has been good enough to keep another clean sheet. We've been keeping clean sheets against very good teams, and Everton are a very good team. They really are. But they've not been like free scoring in the last couple. Okay, maybe with James back there, a bit more dangerous in that sense. But I still think a 2-0 is fairly reasonable. I said it with you earlier already. I reckon at the end of the day, our first goal is going to be a Jorginho penalty, just regardless of who plays. That makes unless Jorginho doesn't play, then obviously not. But you get what I'm saying. I reckon that's probably the most likely. But yeah, 2-0, take it. Hopefully a 2-0 that's like 1-0 at halftime when we score like, I don't know, 35th or something. Take it to halftime and then get that second goal like in the 60th or something and just kill it. Don't wait until the 85th. Like just kill it. Doesn't need to be
clinical,
49th minute, because that leaves too long again to make even 2-0 not be killed. But if you get the goal on the hour, that's fine. Like, that's it.
All right, Jam, what about you? What's your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I actually agree. I'm going 2-0 as well. I mean, when you look back over the years recently, when we play Everton at home, we usually touch them. In the last 5 home games against them, we've won 4. There is something about the bridge when we're playing Everton at home. They just don't like it. Okay, this time we haven't got our fans there, but I just have that feeling that we are just going to get the job done. We usually do against them at home, so it will be a bit of a tough game. Obviously, it will be a tough game. Sorry, but I can see us getting a fairly early goal. If I'm just going to put that out there, and then getting a second one just early second half, and then that'll be it. Yeah, so 2-0 Chelsea.
All right, cool. Johnny, let me get your thoughts as well. And to you guys as well, I might open the lines as well for a few minutes if you guys want to come in and get your thoughts, because that might be something new I want to try and start adding to this channel. So if you guys want to do it, I'm going to put the StreamYard link down in a minute or two. But Johnny, give me your thoughts.
I'm gonna reiterate all you guys. I feel like a 2-0. I'd love a 3-0, but I think 2-0 is a bit more sensible. And I've got a feeling Mount's going to be on a bit of a run. He's going to get one, and I'm going to call Werner to score as well. That's what my gut's telling me. So I'll go 2-0. We've got a good record. Yeah.
All right, 2-0. Well, guys, I've left the StreamYard thing there. If you lot want to jump in and get your thoughts, let me know. If not, I'm just going to end in about a minute or two. But let me see what some of you guys' score predictions are saying. We're getting a lot of 2-0s here, and I can't lie, I was low-key going to pick 2-0 as well, because I think we're going to win it. I just didn't think we were going to absolutely batter them like we did last season. And really and truly, last season, us battering them was a surprise in itself, mainly because of I think we had like 9 players out for that game and we still battered them throughout the 90 minutes. But yeah, anyway, we've got a few people who want to hop on anyway. Jam, Lawrence, I know you guys have to head off, so thanks for jumping on anyway. I do appreciate it. You guys take care. Check out Lawrence's channel. Check out Jam's channel. Links are literally in the title, so guys, check it out. And
Big
thanks
up,
for
guys.
Johnny, if you want to stay on as well, please be happy to stay on.
Yeah, I'll stay on with you. Yeah. No problem.
Have a good night, guys.
Boys. Have a good night.
Yeah, take care. Have a good night.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Right, Oscar, you're the first one. So what's your thoughts, bro?
Yo, bro, man. Good stream, man.
What's happening, Oscar?
I'm obviously still buzzing from Liverpool, from the Mason Mount wonder. But yeah, I think we'll be all right. Similar to Jam, I just feel like for some reason I don't see Everton at Stamford Bridge. Like when we go there, obviously we always like struggle there at Goodison, but at Stamford Bridge will be fine. I think I don't want to see Alonso play. Chilwell has to play again, and I want to see Hudson-Odoi coming back into the side really. But I'm quietly confident for this game. I think we should get the 3 points.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing as well. I think we can all go into this game thinking, regardless of how hard it's going to be, it should be a team that we should be beating, especially if we are being serious about the top four, because these guys are our top four rivals. We should be showing that we're better than them, regardless of how hard the game's going to be, and no one's underestimating them. It's going to be a difficult game for us regardless. Dag, what's your thoughts, bro?
I mean, first off, big ups to everyone on the panel and big up everyone else that's been on. But I personally think we need to set up this game the same way that we set up against Manchester United, because they have a very similar sort of play style with the way that their wingbacks bomb forward. And I don't know. I just feel like this is not going to be one of those 3-0, 2-0. I think this might be another one of those 1-0. And I think it's going to be boring, to be perfectly honest. Again, I think we're going to have most of the possession, but with the midfield, that it depends on who they play in midfield. But if they play the big guns with Decore and Allen, I think we're going to be sitting there for a boring.
I understand that. Like, I don't think it's going to be an easy game by any thoughts of it. If anything, it all depends on us, because I think we're still going to make chances. I think we're still going to dominate for most parts. It's just, if we're worried, we're probably worried that we're not going to be clinical for this sort of game. Am I correct?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like that's the only thing we really have to be worried about with the kind of form that we've had and the way that we've been playing these past couple of weeks. The only questions that we have with our team is our final finishing. And these are the next couple games, Everton and Leeds, leading up into the Atletico thing. These are the two games where we need to get that figured out, so that
sorry to cut you off, Dag. Do you think it's finishing or do you think it's creating chances?
No, it's finishing. I did like a lot of people like Kai and Scott too. They've said that we need to maybe switch the position, the formation, in order to create more chances. But I personally feel like we created enough chances. If our players had their finishing boots on, we'd be winning these games very comfortably.
Dag, though, if you're going by the United game, right? So are you going with Ziyech, Giroud, and Mount? Is that what your thought process is?
I'm saying we need to set up the way that we've played against, like our play style, the way how we didn't really force our wingbacks to go that forward, because with Luke Shaw and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, they were able to bomb down. Seamus Coleman and Lucas Digne are the exact same. They get down the pitch. I'm talking they get all the way down to the opposite goal. Like they'll literally like start just chilling on the goal line. And so, I mean, for me, I feel like we need to play Werner this game, because they're the one.
You want the pace and movement.
If they play Michael Keane, we need to use that against them. We need to use the pace against them. We need to put in. I really feel like Mason Mount, he can really pick apart his passes this game if he really wants to. But that's gonna mean that we're gonna have to be able to create space for him by overloading one side and then being able to switch it.
Yeah, I agree. Werner's got to play. I think he's got to play. His movement, his pace will send their centre backs twisted. Personally, and Mount's energy and his reading of the game and his pressing and what he does for the team. Yeah, it's just depending on the wing back. I've said. Who plays on the right? Is it going to be a Ziyech? If he goes with a James as wing back, that's what I would go for.
We're going to see James and Chilwell playing at the wing backs, because they're going to punish. I swear to God, if we play at Marcus Alonso, they're going to punish him.
Yeah, so that's like Liverpool game.
Definitely.
They can use Holgate in that position. They can use Godfrey in that position. That's the only problem that I have with this Everton side, is that we don't know who they're going to play. When we came up against everyone else, we know who's going to be on the field, right? But with their defense, they can switch it up however many ways they want.
I'm not really worried about them. I'm worried more about us, Like, I feel like Everton are a good side, but they haven't played really well in their last couple games. They're not in the best of form. And I think...
No, Everton are in very good form.
I think they've won games, but I watched them against Southampton and they weren't that good. Like, I don't think they've been playing very well. Without Rodriguez in the team, it's hard for them to create stuff.
I'm telling you now, they're coming for a draw. They're coming for a draw.
I think they will too, but I think it's down to us to break them down and create chances. That's why I said earlier, when you were saying that Chelsea don't finish chances, I think other than like Liverpool, we created a lot against Liverpool. But before that, when I look at the Atletico game, Man United, Southampton games, I don't feel like we created enough. I don't feel like there was many chances in those 3 games where you're like, oh, Werner should have scored or Giroud should have scored. It's always like we're not creating through balls or passages of play.
Yeah, fair. But again, when we play Giroud, that kind of takes that out of our arsenal. We're not even allowed to do that. We're not when we play Giroud, it literally means, look, just pass the ball to him and we'll see what we can do after that. And that's if he can get open, because normally he's covered by 2-3 players.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, like what Johnny said is true. They're gonna come and play for a tie. But if we come out and really attack them, like full on all-out attack them, they're gonna hit us on the counterattack. That's the only thing I'm worried about.
That was so shameless from Flawless. Martial's first good performance of the entire season.
I gotta appreciate the shamelessness.
Martial.
It's a shame he didn't score either, but it's big up Flawless anyway. Check out the Sarcasm City Q&A in half an hour. Maddy, what are you saying, bro?
Man, I'm good, man. How are you, my bro? Lewis.
Yo, talk to me, man. I'm good. What are you saying?
Yeah, man, I can't wait for the tomorrow game. We win, man. Need to win the game. Big game for us, man. We need to make sure we get our 3 points. Because as you can see the table, every little team started creeping up. Tottenham got their win today. They're looking good. So it's tough for us tomorrow. We need the 3 points. You know, to put ourselves in a clear daylight against the rest of the bottom teams that are coming attacking us. At the moment, there's a lot of attack coming our way, man. You got Tottenham, Villa, Everton. Everton have got games in hand as well. That's the scary part. They've got games in hand. So it's very hard. But how you guys go, man? You see the plan bringing me, bro.
Yeah, we're good, bro. And I understand that as well. That's why a victory is so important to us, not in terms of what we're going to do. It's also in terms of everyone else around us. We've got Villa who have a game in hand on us. We've got Everton who have a game in hand on us. And if they're ahead of us, that means they could go 4 points ahead. No, not even 4 points, 5 points ahead of us as well. So all the more reason why this game is so important. Who do you want to see start? Maddy, who do you want to see start, bro?
Well, at the front, I just wanted to keep the same. What he was doing is, alright. I think you only put it up front on his own.
Say that again, your connection is fading a little bit.
No, I said leave Giroud or play Timo. You know what he's doing recently? That's working well for us. That's been working very well for us.
Tammy Abraham, then.
Nah, not at the moment, man. Not at the moment.
I see Tammy,
that game, yeah.
I swear. I got a vibe Tammy's going to play.
It don't fit in this game anywhere. I understand it because they're going to sit deep. So they're going to give him a limited amount of time on the ball in the final third. Yeah. And that's not going to be good for him. We say that for Havertz, but he'll have runners around either side of him, so they can't focus too much on Havertz. Tammy, he's going to be our focal point. That's where the big problem is. I could just see him struggling in the air as well. Michael Keane just putting him in his back pocket or something. It wouldn't be right for this sort of game.
Yeah, who had the good game last year when I think it was Billy Gilmore's second game? Who were the scores in it? We won like Everton, right?
Mount scored the first one. He scored the opener. I think Giroud scored that day. Pedro got one, and I think William.
Yeah.
I'd love Billy Gilmore, man.
It was a year ago.
That was our last. Yeah, that was the last game with fans in.
Bro, it's been
we were on a great run then as well.
Yeah,
we were.
I will say, what a way to end it, though. Like, I couldn't have picked a better game to end that. Just absolutely pipe another team.
That was a sick
perfect
game.
Ending. Yeah. Artine, we ain't heard from you, man. What's your thoughts, bro? Bro, can you hear us? Or is your mic working? No, you're not on mute. How's the audio working?
Oh, he's gone.
I think I heard him. He was like, he was a little bit.
Yeah, he sounded like he was far from the mic.
Yeah. He sounded far away.
I couldn't hear anything, bro. I didn't even know if the mic was working. Guys, if you do want to get involved, the StreamYard is literally in the comment section. So literally hop on and just give us your thoughts on the game.
Can I ask a question? I saw a quote from Tuchel a couple weeks back where he was talking about how he knows Hudson-Odoi, he's playing him on the right wing back area, but he knows he's a lot more dangerous on the left. Do you guys think we'll ever see this season Hudson-Odoi playing on the left rather than the right?
Yeah, I can see it.
Because I think he's way more dangerous on the left. Like he's much more of a goal threat. And I think if he played not as a left wing, but as the left, like just behind Timo Werner, I think he'd be way more effective for us.
But the reason he plays him on the right is because I don't feel like our right side is strong enough. Whereas our left side, we've got a lot more options. We've got Werner, we've got Pulisic, Mount can sort of do bits there. On the right, you've only really got Ziyech, really. So, and then James, if Adoy's not there, I think that's all you've got. Whereas with Adoy, you can play him wing back, you can play him more forward, right wing. That's why I think that's Tuchel's thought process. To be
Is
fair,
my audio working now?
Yeah, bro, we can hear you.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
bro.
okay.
What are you saying, man?
No, I was saying I feel like they're just gonna set up the way they did last time. They're gonna set up for the 0-0. They're gonna try and get a penalty or a scummy goal or something like that, something on the counter. To make it 1-0, we need to be careful, not give away any fouls in dangerous positions.
Look, listen, see me. Look.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we need to be careful and not give away penalties, because if they do that, if they score a penalty like that, like early, when did they score one last time? Before the first half. They're just gonna shut shop and just wait it out. And I feel like Havertz could be good if he starts, because out of all our forwards, I trust him the best to pick out a run that Timo can make, because his runs are getting ignored too much. And I feel like if Kai starts, then the chemistry that he has with Timo, he's going to be able to pick him out and hopefully get a goal or two for him.
That's all speculation. We have no clue if they have any sort of chemistry.
No, I think they do.
They barely play together. We have literally no insight into the fact if they have chemistry or not. If they play,
who? Sorry, I missed it. Who?
Kai and Timo.
Kai and Timo.
Like they have no experience playing together in this Chelsea side. Like really good at
Well, they played for Germany. They've played for Germany together quite a few games.
Except for Chelsea. I said they haven't played consistently for us.
I just don't think Kai. I don't know why Tuchel won't play Kai. There's something obviously that he's seeing that is, he's not feeling with confidence. So
no, I disagree. I think it's the fact that everyone else is performing.
Really? You think the front three is really performing? That apart from Mount, I don't see who's performing.
I think Mount and Werner are performing, and that's the positions that Kai would play in.
What, on the left?
Left or right?
Didn't he say he thinks Kai's a number 9, a mix between a number 9 and a 10? Yeah, 9.5 as Dammy says.
I would have played him as a false 9.
Because if you play him false 9, you can play Mount as well, and you can play Werner. So you could play Mount on the right to work and support Havertz, and you could put Werner on the left to support Havertz, and they can exchange, all three of them, and then you could have a James or a Doyle right wing back, and then Chilwell left wing back or Alonso, either way, depending on who you're playing.
Yeah,
I can definitely see it working.
Definitely would not do that against Everton.
No, well, I'm not saying tomorrow's game. Tomorrow's game, I think we're going to set up more like we did for Liverpool, and I say we won the game. Why not? Let's, we can sit back as well if we need to, and absorb a bit of pressure and hit them on the break.
I think it's been
counter
injuries and that keeping out Havertz, because he wasn't fully fit, and he's not gonna drop him straight in against like a Liverpool or Atletico or Man United. Those were big games, so I think he's gonna ease him back. He might start tomorrow, or he might just play like 20 minutes off the bench. But I don't think you should read too much into Havertz not playing yet. Definitely Tuchel likes him. He played him in his first game, so I think it's just a matter of time.
Johnny, we're resting Mount tomorrow, right?
Yeah, right, man. What are you saying, Chevy? You good, yeah? I told you, bruv. I told you. Did I not say? You said to me, where are we going to get a goal? We're going to get a goal from Mason Mount. And we got that goal and he won us the game, bro.
You know what's crazy, Johnny? When I said that in my mouth, it popped out Mount. But because I know you are such a Mount diehard, I just couldn't say it. But I have to give you your flowers now, man.
Yeah, make sure there's some roses in there, man. I like roses, bro.
He scored, and I said, "Oh my God, Johnny's gonna be unbearable."
Oh, it
Well,
was.
well, thank you guys for letting me on the panel. I appreciate that. My name is Truth Seeker. I am Nigerian, but I live in New York City. I'm a Chelsea fan. I've been listening to this channel for a while. I think we're doing great, though. I was Lampard out. I know that's kind of disrespectful to the Chelsea fans who go to matches.
We all got to that point anyway, bro.
We just didn't want to. No one wanted to say it.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a legend, but I mean, he would have been with the under 21s for a while and then progress into being a Chelsea manager after some time of experience and getting some kind of experience in the job. But in regards to tomorrow's match, I think it's going to be a 1-0 win because Everton is going to sit back and try to catch us on the counter attack, and we're going to sit back too. So it's going to be like the same like Atletico or Liverpool. And I think that we're going to do it. But I want to ask a question. Have you guys ever thought of playing N'Golo Kante, Jorginho, and Kovacic in the same team?
No.
And see how that goes?
No. Like a 4-3-3.
We're never going to score. We're never going to score.
I disagree.
You really want to defend, nothing else.
Yeah.
I don't change. This formula's working. We're not conceding. We're winning. We're unbeaten. Why change it?
But we're not scoring goals. That's the issue. We score one.
We're not scoring goal with that lineup.
Yeah, that doesn't help us score goals.
That just makes us more defensive, if anything.
I think Kovacic is like a Luka Modric. He runs around with the ball a lot. I think he could be able to find the pass. We know the issue why Timo Werner is not scoring is because nobody's picking up the runs that he makes. So at the end of the day, he runs a lot and nobody finds him.
Yeah, but Kovacic and Jorginho can't either. You've seen that in the Letty game. They're awful.
I think the issue with that midfield three is that they're all three quality players, but I think our we don't have world-class wingers that are going to go and score. I feel like if you compare that with Liverpool's midfield last year, Kovacic, Jorginho, Kante is almost better than their midfield three. But because Salah and Mane were scoring 22 goals each, it was enough to supply the goals. We don't have those kind of wingers. We need players from midfield helping the forwards. Our forwards just ain't hitting right now.
That's a good point he makes because, like you see now, like that their forwards are not producing and they're struggling in attack. So they do rely on their world-class wing play to get them out of situations. So it was a great point.
But we were one-dimensional when we had the wing players because they was only going to cross the ball to the strikers to nod or something. We didn't have any play from the middle of the pitch, so they had to cross the balls from the wing and pass to the side, cross the ball, and someone nods it into the net. That's how we were playing.
Well, I think that's only in our last two games, right? Because they were United and they were Liverpool. So they're very dangerous on the counter, especially United. So with Mount, normally Mount would progress into the centre and bring everyone in attack together because that would be his job. But he was so drawn in by protecting the Chilwell, the left wing back, and again in the Liverpool game, similar scenario. Unfortunately, because of our defensive game, that restricts us slightly, and we didn't have Kovacic to carry us because we had Jorginho and Kante. But when Kovacic played against United, his progression wasn't that great in that game when we needed it. So I think it does depend on your position as well. I think for the Everton game, I think we'll set up very similar to the Liverpool game, to be fair.
But in the future, what's the ideal situation for us going forward and scoring more goals? Because we could consider odd goal.
Haaland. Yes.
Yeah, Haaland. Yeah.
Yeah, but he needs the pass to score the goals too as well. So it's going to be the same thing like Timo won.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
No, it's Haaland. Then I don't think this is this is not a problem that comes around once in a while. You know, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. We now have a team where we see one distinct problem. One. And it is finishing. Right. And there is someone that is on the market this summer who is quite possibly can be looked at as going to be one of the most clinical finishers. Right? It's not something where we're discussing. It's not an option. We have to get them.
And he
So
can
it
play
doesn't
with
matter.
Werner before everyone starts going, oh, Werner
Yes,
won't play. He can play with Werner.
easily.
We need
So
a
this-
deep playmaker.
But Timo was scoring goals in Leipzig though for fun, and he came
That
to
was
Chelsea
German.
and he
That was a
couldn't get.
different
Because
Yeah,
this
but he was playing with
well.
a false nine, wasn't he?
Wait.
Yeah.
This is a good
Was it
segue
Paulson?
because
Paulson,
I
yeah.
didn't read the super chat as well, saying, "Do you think Timo can be the main man for Chelsea, just like Drogba was?" And
No.
obviously, this season's been a bit of a sticky one for Werner in terms
my
of
God.
adjustment. But what's everyone feeling about Timo Werner long term? Do you lot still trust him to be our long term?
Absolutely.
Or are you thinking more towards Haaland, or do you feel Haaland and Werner can link up well together? What are you guys' thoughts, Johnny? I'll start with you.
Yeah, I think Haaland will be, to answer this super chat, Haaland will be what Drogba was for us. Werner can never be what Drogba was for us because they're completely different strikers all round. Werner can play off Haaland. He can play on the left like he did for Leipzig. In his second season, he was the most successful with his goals and assists. And that was due to him being pushed to the left and coming in and working with the false nine. And at the same time, Havertz could play as false nine with Werner as well. So you've got that option. I think Werner being the main guy, I think he's going to come good. There's no question. Werner is a fantastic player. Once he's settled, we'll see next year. He's going to be a very dangerous player for certain opponents. He's going to be very dangerous. So yeah, to answer, he will succeed.
Someone asked hold on. Someone asked what makes these guys so sure Haaland will not flop at Chelsea. Look at Werner and Havertz. Well, for me, it's a matter of he's been to 3 different places now and he has succeeded at every single place. We haven't really seen that with Werner and Havertz. We've seen Werner succeed at Leipzig, right? We've seen Havertz succeed at Leverkusen, but we've seen Haaland succeed in Salzburg and Dortmund and the Norwegian national team. So it's a matter of, if you look at the statistics as well, his goal contribution is, not goal contribution, his goal conversion rate is ridiculous. It's absolutely, but to score, if you take 2 shots and you score 1 goal every 2 shots, that is ridiculous. It shouldn't be possible. It simply shouldn't be possible. Because just think about it, right? Just think about it. If you were, think of yourself as a striker. If you are a striker getting paid hundreds of thousands of pounds, right? You're going to shoot with every single opportunity you get. So if you shoot twice and score a goal, that is, I can't, it's gotten to a point where it's not even a dream anymore. It's a must. It's a must.
Deadly, that's what it is.
It's a must.
Deadly.
It's a must.
Yeah.
It's not a what and if. It must be a when. When are we going to?
I just feel the Premier League is a different animal, though, compared to other leagues.
You gotta give him a time, though.
He won't hit the same numbers.
He's only come for this
but
season anyway.
He'll still be amazing.
The Premier League's perfect for Haaland.
I don't think he's going to be able to hit the same numbers because we're going to have people that are going to be able to contribute along with him. We don't need someone to come in and score 30 goals. We need someone to come in and score 15 consistently. I'm not talking a Tammy Abraham 15. I'm talking 15 consistently.
No,
we need 20.
I want 20 goals, mate.
No, of course.
It depends on how well the others do.
Listen, right? If we have someone with the play style of Erling Haaland to be able to drag players out of position like center back, right? That unlocks the abilities of Havertz, Pulisic, Mason Mount. So instead of Mason Mount and Pulisic and Havertz getting 5 goals, they can get 10 goals. Look at Man City.
Can I interject that? So you're saying, we tried to build a team with Haaland, around Haaland and that, yeah?
Yeah, we can, because he's like a talisman that allows you. You can just leave him at the top of the pitch, right? You can literally leave him at the top of the pitch, and he will get open on his own, completely on his own.
So where's the service coming from?
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, you got to watch the type of goals. Wait, hold on, Dag. You got to watch the type of goals that Haaland scores. Yeah, if you like the last Champions League game Dortmund had, Dortmund played against Sevilla. Haaland literally took the ball from the halfway line, took it to the edge of the box, played a 1-2 with another player and scored. He's got excellent finishing. He's got pace. He's got strength. He can drive into positions just like a Drogba or someone like that. He doesn't necessarily need the ball on a plate like someone like Tammy Abraham needs. That's why he's going to cost over 100 million, because he's a complete player. Like, he's that good.
Yeah,
everything is like Haaland.
That's facts.
Everything.
That's facts. We don't miss. we don't miss a chance to sign Haaland. We need Haaland. But the thing is,
Well, I just think that last time.
us. Hold on. Let me talk. The thing is about us. We are known as like the graveyard of strikers. You know what I mean? So we just have that fear of like, is he gonna hit it off? And the thing I feel like we're missing, we need to give our guys time. Like you feel like Drogba didn't come and hit it off right away. You know what I mean? So I feel like we're impatient and we need like instant success, but we just need to allow. Havertz might be a new beast next season. Werner might be a new beast next season. Ziyech might be a preseason and a proper coaching. I feel like they can succeed in the league.
No, I want. And then you can ease Haaland in. You see, you can ease him in. Like you don't have to rush him in because But once our front line, I just said it. Even if just one of them was firing, just one of them, we would be all right. Two of them, amazing. Three of them, oh my days, we're going to be so dangerous.
Yeah. Let me break it down real quick, right? This is something we're not understanding, right? Where was Timo Werner supposed to be this time last year? Where was he linked to?
Liverpool.
Yeah. So imagine, had we not gotten Liverpool, Werner would be. I mean, had we not gotten Werner, he would be at Liverpool right now, right? The same
and
thing.
They would be a much better team.
And it would be a much better team. Look at what they're doing with just Jota, with just Diego Jota, right? Now, so if we don't get Haaland this season, right, and yes, our players might be different beasts next season, what happens is City come in and they get him, right? If they get him, it's over. I have zero hopes. Zero aspirations, zero dreams. They're dead in the water.
I don't think
we're not going to be able to win. We're not going to be able to do anything.
I don't think
so. That's why it's a matter of not only is he good for our team, but a matter of this is a world beater that we cannot allow any other team to get.
We're going to compete with United. Trust me. United get top four, we get top four. It's going to be between us and United. I don't see City going.
Johnny, can I ask you a question?
Whatever
Johnny,
it is.
Can I ask you a question? If we're like double digits behind, like, let's say around 10 points behind City, would you say we improved this season?
If we're 10 points behind City,
if we're second, yes.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course, it's an improvement. Yeah.
Wow, standards.
Yeah, but it's an improvement from last season, is it not?
Yeah, it's true.
And we're in transition, guys. And we signed 6 players, first-team players.
We signed 6 first-team players. We didn't have a preseason. We switched
managers. Like you can't expect them to magically
hold on. Let's say we beat Atletico as well, so we got further than we did in the Champions League than we did in the past couple of years.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We still got a second leg to play.
I'm saying because he said he said the question originally was theoretically we finished 10 points behind them, right? Theoretically we finish ahead. We beat off Atletico in that scenario, right? So I would say it's an improvement off the jump.
Definitely, of course it's an improvement, and we finished top of our group in the Champions League, which is the first time we've done that. Is in 2012 when we won it. So we are improving, and we're in more of a transition than Manchester United. You got to remember, Manchester United, that team's played with each other. The majority of those players have played each other for the last sort of 2-3 seasons.
That is true.
And
for a long time.
If you took Bruno Fernandes out of that side, all right, or put it this way, they signed Bruno Fernandes and he didn't hit the ground running straight away, they wouldn't have even made top 4 last year.
Yeah,
no chance. So when you look at that, we're going to be levels above United. You'll see.
That Mount Hive talking.
Yeah.
The Mount Hive is speaking.
Yeah, bruv. Mount Hive, and don't think for 1 second that Money Mace.
Look, Johnny,
be in that team, yeah. Johnny. Money Mace is the backbone of Chelsea Football Club.
You want him, Johnny?
Wait, Johnny. Look, you know what? Yeah. At the end of the day, Prime told me the other day, like he says, just enjoy the ride. Like.
Oh, hold on. You know what? We actually we've had a ride.
Ride's going straight to the top, then maybe it is a ride.
You know what? It was all right against Liverpool, wasn't it? So let's
pretty decent, you know.
Yo, Johnny.
Pretty decent.
If Silva's with us next year, and we had to give the captaincy to either him or Mount, who you going with?
I'm giving it to Mount.
Silva.
I'm giving it to
Mount, bro. DNA.
No.
Chelsea DNA.
No way.
Chelsea DNA.
If Mount player of the season.
This is why I get my brain a
Aspie,
lot from you,
Aspie's
Johnny.
the captain, man. Aspie's not going to give up his captaincy, so that's a stupid question anyway. Let's talk in maybe two years time when Aspie maybe is fading out, not playing as much. Then I would give it to, because I don't see Thiago Silva lasting another season. So yeah, it will go to Mount in 2 years.
Yeah, hold on.
Guys,
So
let me just ask a question before I leave. I just want to bring it back to what we were talking about before. When we won the league last time, we had this connection between Cesc Fabregas and Diego Costa. So in regards to us going forward and our scoring and our attacking front, where is that connection? Okay, let's say we get Haaland. Where is that connection within him and whoever is going to deliver him the balls to score the goal?
Okay. Hold on. If I'm gonna be perfectly honest, right? I'm gonna hop on this train with Vitness, right? Kovacic has been different gravy since Tuchel's come.
Oh
He has been absolutely filthy, right? And if he keeps progressing the way that he has been, I'm telling you, he can be a world-class midfielder, and I have faith in him to be able to create opportunities for the team.
But you can't depend on Kovacic, though.
No, like, of course, which is why we have Mount in the team, which is our most creative player this season. We also have Ziyech, Havertz, and all these other people. So I'm saying we're not out of options.
Let's have it right. We should go and buy a player like Aouar to play deep. All right, until Billy Gilmore's ready. But I think Billy Gilmore's ready, mate. But if Tuchel doesn't think he's ready, then I would go and sign a player like that, who's got captain leadership quality, but he can pick balls and he can play in various positions as well. So we want versatility with who we sign.
But Johnny, don't you think Gilmore's size will get in the way? Like
Gilmore's what?
His physicality.
No. His reading of the game's too sharp.
Nah, man.
He's too sharp.
He's Scottish.
Yeah, but he's not.
He's a different gravy, Billy Gilmore.
Look, so
as a matter of look, I'm sorry, but can you imagine Billy Gilmore going up against Leon Goretzka? Tell me who's gonna win.
He's
got them Scottish genes.
I'll tell you about Billy Gilmore. Yeah, Billy Gilmore is him and Mount are going to be the two players that are going to come out like John Terry. Those two players. Everyone else is going to be decent, but they've got mentality. I'm telling you,
I was with you with the Mount stuff, with the Billy stuff. We need
You're sleeping on AC.
Maybe Reece James, Lewis.
Of course, Reece James.
Johnny. Look, we talk not trash, but we question Mason Mount, and he proved us wrong.
I never questioned him.
Hold on. I know you never questioned him, but we did. And so, hold on now. Now let us question Billy Gilmore and let him prove himself before we give him all this blood.
That's fine, but if you go by what I've said about Mount, just trust me when I talk about Billy Gilmore.
But Johnny, you got to remember this season.
Features are different.
Lampard hasn't played Billy Gilmore. Tuchel hasn't played Billy Gilmore. So there's a reason why.
Last season he did. Last season
he played him like twice last season.
Yeah, but he played. He was easing him in, and then he got a bad injury. So he's just come back from bad injury now. He's just come back.
I'm not saying he's not good enough. I'm saying he's getting eased in. So if we're talking about who's going to create for Haaland next season, it's not going to be Billy Gilmore.
No, but he could do that. He could do that. He's like a Xavi, mate.
Hold on, let's take it a step further. Okay, Mount is one. He's taller than Billy Gilmore off the jump, and he plays an attacking position in the midfield. Right. Billy Gilmore plays center defensive mid. I do not want my CDM to be 5'2". I apologize.
But you're gonna have someone next to him, Dag. You're gonna have someone next to him.
Who's 5'3"?
Yeah, but Kante's he's the world's best CDM, bruv.
Where's our height? We have Aspie in defense. Bro, come on.
We don't need to worry about that, man. For certain games, yes, I agree. But I'm not saying Billy Gilmore plays every single game, because he won't. And you can't tell me all of our squad players, our first 11 is going to play every single game, because for tactical reasons, for opposition
Billy Gilmore. You play Billy Gilmore.
Your best player should play every game.
Real quick, you play Billy Gilmore. You would play Billy Gilmore in a low block against the low block team, right?
Of course I would.
Okay, all right, hold on. Now, most low block teams, if you look at the stats, most of their goals come from set pieces. Height.
Yes, but we've got amazing centre backs. We got wing backs.
Yeah, that's not the problem.
Bro, it's 100. I'm telling you, it's the problem. Look,
because if you're playing someone for set pieces, you're probably gonna have Billy Gilmore on
He'll
say
just be
like,
on the edge.
yeah, or like
He'll
cut
be
it
waiting to get the ball
away.
to
Who
spring
else are we
it
gonna have?
and ping it to Werner.
We have
or
Werner
Odoi.
who's short. We have Werner who's short. If we get Al Haaland, okay.
Werner's not that short.
Yeah, but you're gonna have Haaland.
What is he?
Bags.
5'10",
You're gonna have
Okay,
Haaland,
that's one
man.
player. Look at the rest of our midfielders.
Haaland
Jorginho
will fill in anyway in
is short.
defense.
We need Chouameni.
Bro,
The
I'm
bottom
sorry.
line is right. You're looking for everyone's looking and calling for a Fabregas
Wait,
type
hold on,
player.
hold
Now
on, hold on.
Fabregas weren't the biggest player, was he?
Someone just compared Gilmore to Messi because apparently that's.
Wait,
No,
what?
who said that?
He's an attacking position.
Can I answer the guy's question? The guy said, if we get Haaland, who's going to create for Haaland? Now, the person that creates most for Haaland in Germany is Jadon Sancho. So, Callum Hudson-Odoi is my answer to that question. Who's going to create for Haaland? Now,
Good point. Very good point.
I would say Kai.
Yeah, Kai Havertz, man.
I would say
He
Kai.
has
Kai
what
and
Mount
Mount, I
doesn't
told
have,
you,
which is a
Kai
final
and
ball.
Mount, Havertz and Mount have got all the
That's
minerals.
what we bought Kai
They've got
for.
all the minerals, man. Trust me. They've got all the minerals. Special players.
I agree with that, Johnny, but I think where are we going to put Kai Havertz though? At some
Kai
point, in the
Havertz
season?
can play inside right. He can play false nine. He can play. They're his two favorite
Yeah, he's
positions.
versatile.
You genuinely think that he's going to put Kai Havertz sometime this season? I really
Yeah, of
doubt
course he
it, though.
will. Yeah, he will.
He
He's going to
should.
have
I don't
to.
get why he
He's
doesn't
going to have
play.
to for the Atletico game. He's got to play Havertz for Atletico game.
Would you start him tomorrow? Just to
As a false nine, yeah, I would.
yeah, why not? Why
I got a
not?
question to the panel. All right, if Silva's healthy, are we dropping Christensen?
No.
Yeah, for me,
No,
yeah.
Tomorrow, no. Tomorrow, no way.
You're trying to upset the host. You're trying to upset the host. You're trying to upset the host.
We're going to drop
Maybe the
our
Atletico game,
No,
but
You need to get the Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin picks ready because they're going to be next in the penitentiary.
Yeah,
If
man.
we move,
That'll be huge.
bullied the shit out of Christensen last season in the away
That'll
game.
be huge.
So this will be a good redemption arc for
That'll
him
be
if he
huge.
can turn it around.
Because DCL is good in the air, so if Christensen could show me that his physicality, like he's got his like physicality up, it'll be nice.
Look. This is
AC's
just
got
I guess a
physicality,
point.
man.
This is a point towards or like defending Thiago Silva, but they do have Richarlison in that team who loves to take it down. So
Yeah, but we're going to have Reece James, and Reece James destroyed him. Him.
Okay, Reece James is known to make one or two hectic tackles, so it could lead to a penalty.
Yeah, but he'll put Richarlison in his place. Trust me.
That you're defending my point.
Well, they have Rudiger.
Rudiger's going to be on the other side.
Yeah, Rudiger's on the left, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
In a sense, I'm just saying that if we play Christensen, I would prefer that I would like him to be careful with the way that he tackles. Because I see.
What do you mean careful
You'll
of?
have Aspie there, though. You're going to have Aspie anyway.
No.
What do you mean
of course,
careful
yeah, I'm glad he's there. As in, I think Richarlison is known to dive once or twice. So if he gets into the box, I have a feeling if he gets one strong hand on his back or something, he's going down. And I would feel more secure knowing that Thiago Silva is there compared to Christensen. But
for tomorrow? For tomorrow?
Yes, but on form, I would take.
Man.
But on form, I would take Christensen.
I'd take him for both reasons, Christensen and Rudiger right now, especially with a physical
equator. If we're going to say anyone out the three, because I think Christensen can play on the right hand side.
Yeah,
like everyone's saying,
only if he's got James.
Enough. Like the Liverpool game just threw that one out the water as well.
But you lot, can I just ask a question quickly?
Pace and Sadio.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Where will Havertz play if we sign Haaland? If we're trying to play him false nine?
But he doesn't have to play false nine. I swear to God, people are bringing this false nine thing out of nowhere. The man is a midfielder, bro. Put him in the midfield.
He'll play inside.
No, he's a centre
wing back.
Yeah, but he's not getting over Mount, is he?
Havertz is not box to box.
I never said box to box. I just said put him in the midfield. I don't want him to be playing at striker.
Havertz said he can play 8 inside right and false
He
nine.
said he can play this. He said he can play that. He also said,
he
"Where was he? Where was he?
Havertz is class.
Where was he? Where is he?
You gotta give
Where
him
is
time.
he?
Damn, where is he, bro? Like I don't think
he had. Listen, let's have it right. He had COVID. He's come to the Premiership, which is a much faster paced league than the Bundesliga.
Here we
And
go.
he's come from Bundesliga where he's got amazing stats for a 20-year-old, 19-year-old kid. All right, he's going to be future Ballon d'Or. You take time with these types of players. You don't have to rush these players in. We've got Mason Mount, bruv. We're all good. We don't need to worry about it. Next season, Havertz will come, mate. You'll see Ballon d'Or material. Trust me, he's different gravy. Havertz,
To
special
piggyback
player.
off of
Johnny, Mason Mount for Ballon d'Or, yeah.
Yeah, why not, bruv? Why not? If he's doing what Lampard's going to be doing, why not? If he's banging in 20 goals a season, you'd nominate him, would you not? And he wins the Champions League.
I like your belief, though. I like your belief towards this
I
kid.
believe in Mount because I tell you why. I've watched him as a kid. He's got some mad mentality and determination. This kid, and he's got technical ability. He reads the game, but do you know what he does? He does the dirty work. The dirty work that players that don't want to do it, and that's what makes you a great player. When you
and it's noticeable when he's not in it. I hate to say it's noticeable when he's not in the team.
Exactly. And I've been saying this for pretty much the whole season.
So wait, why don't we bring Livramento up?
Don't forget, we wouldn't have been in Champions League without his free kick. So let's put some respect on his name, regardless. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, yeah, because I already apologized to you last week about Mason Mount and the fact that I haven't said my reason. The reason why I kept it low key for so much long because I've been unconvinced with this kid so many times since last season, where I have this kind of trauma, where in the past, like we're watching young players in Chelsea team their times have been wasted. That's why I've been kept it low key for a long time. So yeah.
Yeah, and I get why you're low key about it because you don't want to overhype someone and then they end up being a Josh McCracken.
I'm not trying to overhype. Basically, like I'm trying to, I don't want this kid. Like at the end of the day, because I've seen in the past, like so many young players in Chelsea that their talent has been wasted. So at the end of the day, man, I don't want this kid talent to be wasted as well. Like Mason
he won't, Fata, and I'll tell you why. Because he's an 8/10. He does the dirty work. He's a goal scoring midfielder. He's not your Ronaldinho tricks out of a hat and all that. He's still got technical flair. You've seen him nutmeg and spin off players and chip the ball over players and do cool stuff like that. He does all that, but he does it at the right time when he needs to do it. The rest of the time, he thinks with his brain. He plays for the badge. With the most important thing, he plays for the badge. He's Chelsea DNA, and he's come through, and he's had to fight where he is now. And he's had Havertz come in, all right, £80 million player, and he's like, I'm not going to let that stop me. And he's had Lampard come in, play him, granted, believe in him, train him, whatever. And Tuchel's come in, and he's still in that side. That says everything you need to know about Money Mace. That's
so Johnny.
Money Mace all day, bro.
This is the thing. Mount is a great player. He hustles hard. He works hard. He's young. The one criticism I have is he can score goals but the one criticism I have is his final third decision making sometimes. Like the weight on his passes.
That will come with time.
Need to improve. Don't you agree with me, Nigel? That's one. I think the problem is on the fan base. It's either we're too extreme at Mount or we're too overcritical.
You know what?
What
I would say to that? I would say to that is if Roy Keane is Johnny Bomb time, if Roy Keane said he's a bit like Scholes at this age where he's just turned 22, if he gets anywhere near that level, anywhere near it, we are talking world-class player, yeah? And he's just turned 22. So let's give him a few more seasons. I'll tell you now, Mount, when he's about 24, in 2 years' time, he's going to be some serious player. You're not even going to have to worry about final ball.
I believe it, but I just don't feel like what people are making him out to be now. Like I feel like people are either overhyping him or like people are too extra critical.
I think that's a reflection. That's a reflection of people slandering him and not giving him any leeway on having respect.
I never slandered him. I never slandered Mason Mount, by the way.
But the ones who do slander and whatever, the ones who do rate him, they have to it's almost like they have to oversell it to those people because they're so thick as shit that they don't know football. They don't know what it takes to come through youth.
I don't even think it's that, but it's just like the one, like we just point out parts of his game that we can see improvement, and then like you guys that like really rate Mount. I rate Mount too. I'm just not like, oh, Mount is like Ronaldinho or something.
Two different extremes to it.
Yeah, it's like
overhype Mount and then they underhype.
But the thing is, like when he goes for criticism, it's like we can't give construct. We want Mount to do well. Like I'm be like, I don't want Mount to do well. It's gonna help our. It's not.
No.
You feel me?
Yeah, and you know what? If I'll be first, if Mount doesn't have a great game, you know, I'll admit it, bro. I'm not going to be like, oh, he still had these man of the match. I'm not a nonsense talker like that. But what I've seen is not any other player in the front line or in midfield is doing what he's doing, and I don't understand it because he's a 22-year-old kid.
You're right, but I am going to say like what you kind of said was kind of cap because again, Southampton. I think was it Southampton where he had
he dug us out the game.
Yeah, no, he had a bad game, and then you were defending him because he put in his defensive duties, right?
What, the Southampton game?
Southampton?
He won us a penalty and scored.
Second half, he was insane.
Yeah,
no, that's a bad example.
United game, my bad. United game.
Yeah, what about the United game?
The United game, he didn't do fuck off. You just
really didn't do nothing. Well. Did you not watch him tracking back and defending of Chilwell?
You don't need to go back and literally go into the fucking clips for this shit, but he did not have a good game, right? He missed.
He was better out of a bad bunch because we're all poor. Ziyech was even worse. So what's your point?
Yes, Ziyech was the worst, but I'm saying
still bad. I'll tell you now, if you took Mount out of that side, you wouldn't have even drawn that game, bro. You wouldn't even drawn it.
You said if he had a bad game, I'll be the first to call him out.
Yeah, but I'm not saying he had a great game, did I? I just said he was better out of most of our players. And like I said, I'll reiterate it. If you took Mount out of that side, we would have been lucky to draw it. And I think you've got to understand what I'm saying to you. Without his work rate and pressing in that game, we would have got exposed with Greenwood and AWB, yeah? We would have. And that would have given room for Rashford to manoeuvre. And we probably would have conceded a goal with Bruno because Mount was assisting with Kante in the middle as well as on the wide, on the width.
No,
you can't say no.
What do you think we guys need? We need more.
I personally, hold on. I'm sorry. But to rebuttal that real quick, I personally feel like had we had a different player other than Mount in that game today, in that game against Manchester United, I feel like we would have scored and we would have won the game. Compared to his defensive duties would have made sure we got.
We would have won the game without Mount. You think we would have won the game without Mount? Who's going to win the game like we did against Liverpool? Who's got it in them to do it? Who's got it in them to do it?
Did I talk about Liverpool? Did I talk about Liverpool?
No. I'm using Liverpool as an example because he brought us out. He dug us out of the game. So I'm asking you, Dags. Yeah, I'm asking you in the United game. I'm asking you in the United game. If you take Mount out, who are you putting in to win us that game?
Let it finish off.
Who?
God.
Who you putting in? Tell me.
We're talking about the fact that he was in a position.
You said we'll win the game without Mount. So who are you putting in? If we win the game, who's going in? Tell me.
We can put in anyone, dude. We have
who's anyone?
Listen,
tell me.
Havertz, Hudson, and Joy.
What are you talking about? Put Havertz in there to win the game. Havertz would have got run ragged.
What game are we on about, by the way?
The Man United game.
The United game.
You're crazy,
in the Manchester United at the shot on goal. Hold on, right? We got hold on. We got wiped. We got absolutely wiped when we played against Man City.
You won't win, bruv. You ain't gonna win.
Hold on. Let me finish. We got wiped when we played against Man City, right?
Yeah.
Did we get a goal back?
Yeah.
Who created the goal?
Havertz for Hudson-Odoi.
Okay, so I'm saying in that sense, in that Manchester United game, we would have been able to create. I think we would have been able to create a goal because Mason Mount missed a shot right there in front of him. He did too much and he fucked up.
Oh my God!
Look.
And who was there to support him in the box, man? Who was there?
Dag, I hear your point, but you got to remember we played Wolves. We didn't have Mason Mount starting that game. We didn't create anything. he came on and he looked a little bit more lively. I just think really our other players, your Havertz, Pulisic, and those guys, they haven't really performed this season. So to say that we take out Mount and put one of those guys in when they haven't done it, it's a bit like where are you getting that from?
Mount's
At least with Mount, you know you're
look,
gonna
take
get.
that point away from it. The original point was that Mason Mount didn't have a spectacular game that game. I'm saying Johnny made the point. Hold on. Johnny made the point that when Mason Mount does not have a good game, I will call him out on it. Right?
Yeah.
I was there with
I said
Kai.
he was all right, but he was better out of the bad bunch. What do you want
I
me to
was
say?
there with Kai sitting there trying to get Johnny to understand that Mason Mount didn't have a good game. And he defended him. He defended him because of his defense.
Because of what else he gave to the team.
Hold on.
Because Ziyech, Stags, listen to me, bro. Listen. That game was for Ziyech to create. That game was for Ziyech, and he did nothing. Nothing. That whole
Ziyech
game.
missed a sitter as well.
He missed a sitter. That was for Ziyech to produce and be a cam and create with Giroud and put it on the plate for Giroud. It didn't happen. Mount was there. He was told by Tuchel, I want you to slug it out.
Craig, I want your Mount thoughts. There's a link, man.
Bro,
yes, Craig.
Yeah, get Craig on.
Get Craig on to argue for Mount.
Yeah, big up Craig.
Bro, we need to leave this Mount conversation.
I don't need backups. All I'm saying is, at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, you take out Mount, you can't tell me we would have drawn that game. Forget winning it. You wouldn't have drawn that game. No chance.
Johnny, right?
Not the way we were playing.
Hold on. Had you been listening to me, right, you would know that I during that
I love anyway, man. You already know.
During that Manchester United game, right? Ziyech was our worst player on that field. I agree. Ziyech was our worst player on the field. I already know that. What I'm saying is Mount did not have a good game either.
Yeah, but he wasn't as bad as Ziyech.
He
so
wasn't
what's your
as
point?
bad. Did I say he wasn't as bad, or did I?
What's your point? That's what I'm saying.
You're trying to twist my words to try and like.
Argument is nothing.
Lewis, let's move on.
Move fast.
Yeah, you know what? Neither of you agree on it. We're going to put a line in the sand.
I never said he had an amazing game, though, guys. Did I ever say that? Did I
Oh
say
no!
that?
You finally respond to my original point instead
No,
of.
but I've already said that. You didn't listen to
Thank
me.
you.
But I'm saying he wasn't the worst player, bro. He was never the worst player.
I never said he was either.
But you reckon taking Mount out, we would have won that game. You're crackers, bro. I can't agree with that logic.
I got a question.
Now you're doing monster brain, man.
You had an original point like 25 minutes ago. What was your point?
Literally.
Man, I feel like I've repeated myself about 10 times.
You are.
Because no one's listening, bro.
But I was just going to say, if we had another topic, if we had a choice to sign a CB or a CDM that was priority, what would you guys go for? What position would you think is the highest priority? The CB? We know we need to sign a top class striker. That's out the way.
We need a deep line midfielder, playmaker. We need someone like that.
For me, I need more a destroyer than a deep line playmaker.
Yeah. A destroyer, yeah.
Yeah, but we've got Kante, Lewis, man. We've got Kante for a couple of years, at least.
He's not good. I like him as a DM against a team that sits. If you're playing a United or a Southampton, I wouldn't want him in that lone role. I need someone next to him or someone.
Yeah, Kante's not a lone DM, exactly.
Yeah. That's where he works at his best with someone who can sit and roam around the midfield and break up play.
Like Matic.
What do you guys think about Ndidi if he was on the market?
There's Alex. Yes,
I like him. I like Ndidi, but I just don't know. I'm not sure.
I mean, it's definitely going to cost up most of like probably 80, 90 million. That's
Why not sign Aouar, man? Aouar for 40 million, 40 million. Would you not take him? I'd take him.
Yeah, but who would you pay Aouar next to? Kante?
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to work, though.
Aren't we in a similar position then?
We don't. Not really, because his actual end, his progressive and end product is way better than Kovacic or Jorginho. Way better.
He's a much more creative player. I agree.
Yeah,
with that.
he's got amazing passing, amazing through balls. He's got vision, and he's strong. He's strong. So I could see that working, and he's affordable, especially if you're going out to buy Haaland. Big up, lads.
Yeah, big up Scott and Alex. Alex, chat to me. What's your thoughts first, bro?
What, on the game tomorrow or just in general?
Yeah, game first and then in general. Because if you're going back to another Mount debate.
Yeah. overall, I'm confident about tomorrow. I mean, I know Everton are on good form right now, but yeah, in some ways, I'm a lot more worried about this game than I was the Liverpool game. I don't know. I just think Everton will pose more threat overall. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm still confident for the Liverpool game, but you know that when a team's on a bad run of form, I'm always worried that will end against Chelsea. So, but yeah, man. Hopefully, it's another 3 points.
Yeah, hopefully it is another 3 points. But I understand the worry in terms of Everton's run. But Everton have been on a decent run themselves, so it's not like the case they're going to lose their winning run against Chelsea or anything like that. It's going to be a tight one, but I think it's only a case where it's going to be a 1 or 2 goal game. Scott, what are your thoughts?
I kind of echo what Alex said, to be honest. I think that this is the harder of the two Merseyside games, just because of the situation around both. And I think that I still feel confident because we should be beating Everton, especially with the players we've got, the form we're on. I think it will be a much harder game than the Liverpool game. I can see, especially defensively, Everton of recent times have been set up very well by Ancelotti defensively. So I can see it being a bit more of a test. And it all depends on who they're playing in the midfield. Because if they go their strongest midfield, then I think that could be a test as well.
All right, and now moving it back onto the general point, what are we talking about? The number one profile of player you want to try to sign summer? Other than a striker, if you're going DM or deep line playmaker, what are your thoughts anywhere else on the pitch that you want to change up first?
The number one is CDM. That's what we need more than anything, and it's not a deep line playmaker. We need, like you said, Lewis, Destroyer, an Ndidi, a Rice, Fabinho, a player like that. You need someone that's going to basically sit in front of the two centre backs, because when we play 4-3-3 next season, you want someone who's going to sit in front of the two centre backs and can stop everything. That's what we need. We don't need someone that's we've got a deep line playmaker. We've got Kovacic. We don't need another centre. Not Kovacic. Wrong player. Jorginho. Sorry, that's what I meant. Wrong player. But we don't need another centre back when we've got like 5 or 6. Like, we can do with a world class centre back, but how many world class centre backs are you getting nowadays for less than 50 mil?
Would you not trade Jorginho for someone like OR? Keep Kovacic. You got Kante, and then I don't think we'll sign Rice. I don't think the board are going to go with Rice, so it'd be probably with someone else.
They're embarrassed by even being linked to him because
Well, Lamps wanted him, didn't he? So I don't think they'll go for him.
I like Sandro Tonali from AC Milan.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
I've been watching him play for a while since Tomori went.
It's another guy that's going to sit and play passes out.
Yeah, Scott. You want like a tree trunk midfielder that's literally just going to make us
like a Matic.
Just a brick.
Yeah, I rate it.
The thing with the 4-3-3 is it all depends on who the other two centre mids are going to be, but more often than not, you think it's going to be Kovacic and probably Kante. You'd assume. The thing is, while Kante's good defensively, you'd imagine they're both going to be getting forward a lot more than normal, especially with how like a traditional 4-3-3 plays. You look at Liverpool, for example. Kessie I've seen mentioned, and the thing with Kessie that I was going to say, not the swap, but they've been talking about how they want to reduce the price tag of the Tomori deal. You could throw something in there.
We'll get Casemiro.
Not throw him in, but we get a reduced price on Kessie and they get a reduced price on Tomori, sort of thing. That might work.
If we do play,
I like Tonali more than Kessie.
I'd rather lose Tomori then for Kessie.
Tomori's gone at this point.
Tomori's gone. Yeah.
He's gone.
No. If we're going to have to debate over a player getting involved in the deal, then he's not necessarily gone because AC Milan clearly can't afford it.
True.
But that's why it's a question now. So, would you rather keep Tomori or get Kessie and guarantee Tomori's gone?
I want to keep Tomori, but at the same time, Tomori's one of those where it's like Abraham, where it's not necessarily it's not like a Mount or like like a Reece James where they have to stay. It's like we want them to progress, we want them to do well. There's always that little bit of To be fair, he's doing all right for Napoli. But no.
I always wonder why every preseason all our managers just act like Bakayoko doesn't exist. They just put him in with the under 18s.
Because I saw Lampard play in pre-season against Reading, and he has
Reading, yeah. Oh,
he has
mate, he had a shocker.
Yeah,
Didn't
you
he pass the
there
ball
as well, Alex.
Yeah, didn't he pass the ball out of play?
We need
Yeah.
Batshuayi back, man.
No one wanted to see it, and I don't want to see it again.
Ah.
Yeah, no, Bakayoko, that's done.
We need Batshuayi back.
Yeah, talk about a clinical finisher.
To do what?
What? Two people say that, not even one. Okay, Xavi, you were
That's why, you know.
Dak, you were being serious.
Laugh
so
at Batshuayi all you like. He scored some important goals. I don't care what anyone
He has.
He
He's got
scored
the
important goals, but I look at him in the space of a 90-minute game, not in the space of those moments. Like, look
Remember
at
that Man U game?
I had some big moments for Liverpool. They still don't want him to start games for him because he's a poor all-round player. Same thing with me, Batshuayi.
Yeah.
But didn't we sign him? Didn't we sign him on some big? Didn't we sign him on some big deal before he went out on loan to Palace?
No, it was just an extension. So that
It was
we
an
could sell it.
extension.
Yeah,
It was only so that we could sell it.
Because we wanted money.
Yeah. So I have a question for Scott. If we aren't gonna get, or if you think we're gonna, or if you want us to get like that bully CDM, how does the rest of the take out the back four? How does the rest of the formation get filled out?
What do you mean?
Good
like,
question.
So you said I don't know. Kise, is that how you pronounce it? Say you have Kessie. Say you have Kessie as CDM, and then I'm guessing Conte is going to be your other one.
Kessie isn't a CDM though. He's not he's not an out CDM.
I'm just saying that it doesn't have to be CDM, or it can be if we're doing a 4-3-3. Him and Conte are the 8, okay, and then I guess you're playing with a cam.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the cam?
Havertz.
Who's left wing?
Pulisic.
Who's right wing? Mount is gone.
Where's Mount, bro?
I'm trying to work out. Mount would be on the bench.
Nah, man.
There we go.
There we go.
You ain't having Mount on the bench, mate. No chance.
Or you bring Mount further back and play him as an 8. You don't play him as the 10.
Yeah, I can deal with that. I see that. I see that. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. It depends. It all depends as well on who you're playing. If you're playing like not a Southampton, like a Burnley, or if Fulham, if they're still winning next season, or a Brighton, where we're going to have more of the ball, we're going to be the better team. You can afford to have slightly less defensive players on the pitch.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of like everyone else, depends if we get Haaland or not. Because if we don't get Haaland, I'd be half tempted to go Havertz as the false 9 instead.
Yeah, I would like that.
Yes.
That's the thing. We don't understand that. We play a lot, especially if we get Champions League. We're going to play a lot of games. So, like, these players don't have to start every game.
Yeah.
You need
That's the
rotation. You know what I mean?
It's all about filling the squad out as well. So, like, for example, if Mount does have to be on the bench, or if, say, I don't know, Hudson-Odoi has to be on the bench, or Pulisic has on the bench, it's not the end of the world. Because, like, look at City's squad at the minute, where their squad's so filled out, and yet they're still rotating game in, game out. Enough players are still getting enough game time.
Yeah.
Phil Foden's not even starting for them.
I feel like he should have came on way earlier today. I don't know why they waited.
I feel like a lot of people are waiting for him just to bring in new recruits and say, oh, he has to go and bench. No one's talking about what Ziyech hasn't done. What did Ziyech do the other? I've been told he had a good game, but I didn't really see him create anything.
No, he was better, but he's looking better and sharper.
Yeah, starting the game slowly, but he's getting more into it, and I think it's a sharp.
He's
had
not.
2 injuries.
He's not passing the ball.
Even though he's still playing this badly, because we have to get him back to match sharpness. He's played like the equivalent of 13 or 14 games in a full year. That's why he's starting poorly. He's getting more into games as it progresses, but we are still carrying him to an extent. So I get what you're saying. He still hasn't been good enough, but I get it. I kind of understand.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to have a culture shock when Money Mason's made captain, because that means he's got to play every game. What's everyone going to be saying?
See, that's exactly it. Like, just wait. Like, let Mount come. Like, he's going to become a Chelsea legend. Just let it happen, rather than forcing him to be captain in his second season.
No,
bring it
I'm
down.
just saying when he does, he's going to play every game. Isn't he?
It's coming.
It's
coming. It's coming, but let it come. Like, why are we?
And for England.
Yo, look, all right. These comments, man, they just get me, bro. They really understand who I am, man. Look, I don't want to get a CDM. I don't want to get another midfielder. I want to play Mount in that 8 role. I don't want him to be that high up the field. I want him to be in that 8 role because I feel like he can create more from that lower position.
He's an 8/10.
You wanted him on the bench before.
Hold on. So before y'all write these tippity typing on these comments, right? Just keep listening to what I gotta say, bro. Let me finish.
Tippity typing.
Was that point? Into a massive hole here.
So you gotta make
that point.
Yeah. Say that again.
Was there a point? You said you were going to finish your point.
Yeah. I said I always wanted to play Mount in a deeper 8 role. Like I wanted him to stay at the 8 that we're like when we had it under Lampard with the 4-3-3. I actually thought that it would work having Mount and Conte playing. If they wanted to do like a 4-2-3-1, I really think Mount can excel in that position because, like Johnny constantly says, he is an exceptional defensive player. And I feel like having that along with the interceptions of Conte, I feel like we would be able to succeed.
Yeah, but he progresses the ball.
But you were saying after the Man United game that you weren't in.
The thing I will say is he's not the most in terms of progressing the ball.
Big men just don't listen to me, bro. You said after the United game. Yes, I said that I don't want him up there. I don't want him that high up that field.
We should ban the word
Not
Mount.
the United.
Oh my god. But
yeah, you said you didn't want him that high up the field, and then you turn around and said you weren't impressed with his defensive work, even though he actually, he was very good defensively. I
never said I wasn't.
He was exceptional.
Look, I'm not gonna go back into this because you can just go ahead and after the stream is done, you can go back and listen to what I said. I'm not gonna go ahead and go back into it, bro.
Yeah, go on, Scott. What were you going to say?
I don't need to listen.
Oh my days. You lot.
In terms of progressing the ball, he's not the best midfielder at that. If we take the form out of it, he's not the best in the.
You know, he's got more chance creations than Kevin De Bruyne so far this season. I'm just saying.
Because he's been injured.
You guys are not scared for
He's
everything.
been injured, but he's still. That's the stats. So and he's just below Grealish, and then Bruno Fernandes is top.
I agree.
So that gives credit to him.
Yo, we need to get Declan Rice.
Unpopular opinion, I wouldn't be against selling Conte to fund a CDM, like a bigger CDM.
Depending on the money, I wouldn't.
We should. We actually should though.
Kante and Silva are only world-class players, so we're going to sell Kante, who's a world-class player.
But you gotta get the most.
Time for it.
I was going to say,
if the offer comes, it's good enough.
Yeah, the same way that we talk about Pulisic with the injuries, the thing with Pulisic is he's getting injuries at a young age, so there's a chance he could come back. If Conte keeps picking up these injuries at the pace that he's doing, he's at an age where he might not be able to come back from it the same. That's the only problem I have.
Well, we say he's a world-class player. That's fair enough. What's his role?
He's a destroyer.
He's a destroyer.
Seek and destroy.
He is. He completely shut down Bruno Fernandes in that whole game.
He can play as a lone DM then.
No, yeah, of course
he can, but he's not the greatest.
He can, but you saw in France with Pogba, he was exceptional. Yeah, cool. He allowed Pogba to play how Pogba played.
Cool, but we're not playing the system.
Yeah, but we don't even know what system Tuchel wants to play. So for me,
I say we do. In terms of you go back and look at what he's done elsewhere, it's the same in terms of it's a 4-3-3 with a more defensive player as the middle. And then 2 progressors either side.
And he's always wanted Kante in that team. When he was at PSG, he wanted Kante.
He always wanted Kante, yeah.
So, personally, I think Kante's best in a 4-2-3-1. And I think that big DM that you're talking about would sit next to Kante and we'd have a creative midfielder in the number 10.
He wants a double 6.
And that would be the best way for us to play.
He wants a double 6.
But I don't think we're going to do that.
No. But then again, we go back to where does Kovacic fit into that? Where does Havertz fit into that? Where does Mount fit into that? That's the problem. Is then we lose elsewhere with players that have to drop out.
I can see Mount and Havertz playing together. I can see it.
I can as well.
I can see it. It will definitely work.
Mount is the 8 and Havertz is the 10. I can see that working.
Yeah.
Again, who else drops out?
They'll complement each other.
It's always a who else drops out to facilitate someone else coming in.
And also, going back to your point though on Conte though, I think it's the best time to get the most for him because
Yeah, but who's got money,
now,
bro? No
he's
one's
going
got
to
money.
decline in price. So
Again,
we're
we
at the
can't
best
sell
time
him
to get
though
the best
for
price.
that much.
I know, but no one's
I
got
agree.
We
money.
can't sell him for too much. Yeah, no one has money.
Inter would after this season, and they've been interested for a couple of years.
Yep.
Yeah, but they're not going to pay. You know, with their president, he won't spend big. He won't spend big.
If we wanted to sell Kante this summer, we could get big money for him. He's a top player. Like it wouldn't be hard, I don't think.
I think
I don't agree with the idea.
Real Madrid are broke. Real Madrid ain't buying
Real
anyone.
Madrid will buy him.
I mean, look. I mean,
PSG.
Barca are probably broke as well, but Busquets has been horrendous.
PSG's a good shout.
To replace him, that would be a good option.
Player 4.
Yeah, you probably want to go back to France.
You know what?
Yeah, I agree with Craig there. I quite like that. I can see that. I can see that.
Wait, what? That I don't really get that.
So without wingers,
Havertz is the 10, right behind two strikers. Then Mount, what would it be? Right or left? Mount.
Yeah, I don't think Tuchel likes that system though.
Either side.
Either side, Mount. Mount would just roam with Havertz.
Okay, but then who would be the other side? What?
I guess it's Kovacic. I think it's Jorginho or Conte as the CDM, and then either Kovacic or Jorginho.
With that, we lose our wingers. We don't.
Yeah, no wingers.
No, but Werner and Mount would give you width within the game. I could see that.
Yeah, but no, you could also utilize the wingers late on, and then you play them all wide
to change it up. Yeah,
but then you
have
some
more attacking
more
wingers in.
But remember, the way Tuchel plays, we will be dominating possession. We'll be dominating possession. So
that's
Tuchel
why
next though.
Tall destroyer is so important because that would only work if you have that profile of a DM. Like if that wasn't N'Golo Kante, no, we're getting absolutely destroyed on the turnovers. But if we have someone taller, bit more imposing, they aren't going to get battered as much. They just have to be good on the ball. That's the only thing that we'd have to ask on them.
We need technically gifted players. Yeah.
Oh, Craigo said bigger CDM drop into a back.
That's another thing as well.
No, you just need a bit more from Ben Chilwell then. That is.
Hold on, I'm a little confused.
I disagree with any Chelsea lineup that leaves out Hudson-Odoi personally. I think he's that good.
Hudson-Odoi's got a lot of proving to do, though, Oscar. He's got a lot of proving to do for me anyway. I want to see more from him. I want to see him scoring goals. I want to see him taking on defenders.
How many goals has he scored this season?
I don't know.
Not a lot.
Based on how much he's played.
But he's been playing at wing back. He's been playing at wing back. 11 minutes.
No. I'm backing it. I'm saying he scored low. He scored against City. He scored twice in the Champions League. He scored against West Brom. Like when he comes on, he's our most effective player in the final third.
Not since he's been wing back though.
Exactly. Yeah, that's not his fault.
Yes, exactly. Well, there you go then.
That's not his fault.
Yeah, but that's Tuchel's. That's down to Tuchel, isn't it? Of where he wants to play.
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously I agree. If he's up top, like say you put him in the front three, like say tomorrow you put Werner, Odoi, and then Mount. That like you got a lot of threat there, a lot of pace. But he doesn't play. Maybe if he plays James as a wing back, you could see that actually. But I just see Ziyech and James having chemistry. They just have chemistry, those two.
Do you think that formation will make it harder for us to break down low blocks because we're not going to have that much width, especially three in the back systems, or is it just pounded enough in the middle and then we're able to get it through or a goal? Like that's the only problem. That's why I like this formation now is because there's so much width that we can literally use whichever side of the field that we want. And if it's not working, just switch it completely, and it's like they get stretched out to the point where there's gonna be holes. Like holes are constantly being left on the side. But I don't know with the other. I just feel like we're gonna get back into the rhythm of a lot of our attack seems one dimensional.
The problem is no one's training with. Look, no one's got any consistency going within that team. Only now we're just starting to see our team. The way it's set up, we've got our system, we've got a formula, and Tuchel's just tweaking the personnel depending on the opposition and the games that come our way. But I still don't. You know, like when you look at Liverpool and you look at City, there's about eight to 9 players that are guaranteed first team starters like every week, and then you'll get those like little tweaks. But I don't see right now, apart from Mount and right now Christensen, Rudiger, Aspi. Like all the other positions can be changed at any time. No one's really owning those positions.
Yeah, that's true, Johnny. But he's only been here a month.
Yeah,
People do
I
forget
get that. I get that. But until we have got some sort of consistency and stability, and we them and time is what I should say really. Once we've got time on our side, where we can actually say, yeah, I can see this is working, that's working. That's where we're going to go forward. Then our debates can kind of like actually come to fruition.
I think it's a really good point because we haven't really seen a consistent lineup.
So everything's changing, and they're all playing with different different teammates all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's hard to build like that telepathy, that understanding on the pitch. You know, like
you don't even know our starting 11.
You know, like they don't know every week. They don't know who's going to start, and apart from the ones I said, Mount's on there. Thiago Silva when he was fit was on there. Aspilicueta now, Christensen, Rudiger. You're going to have one of the three, Jorginho, Kante and Kovacic, that's going to sit out. So they're not always guaranteed to play with each other. And then wing-backs always changing. Alonso, Chilwell, Odoi, James. Werner might not play. Giroud might play. Tammy might play. There's no consistency whatsoever.
No, that's true. But what I will say, I personally, it's a bit of a catch-22 because obviously it's only months. He's not really going to know his starting. But then again, right? If he changes it around and tests players out, and let's say we lost a few games, then it'd be well, why are you testing it when you know he's trying to get top four? So
well, that's down to his top management, Alex, isn't it? He's shown he's a top class manager in the sense that the changes he's making are always working. If that makes sense, like that he's actually managing to not concede any goals and pull out. Whether we score 1 goal or 3 goals, we're still winning a game. We're getting what's necessary with whoever he picks, and I think that's credit to him, knowing you know who's up for it, who fits the system right, who can he play with right up front, and so forth. So yeah, I think for us to have trust in him is really good right now. Because I feel like we can, like tomorrow, he might just throw a can of worms like with the lineup, and we'll be like, we've seen it how many times this season already, and we're like, what the hell? Why is he playing that team? He's put Alonso again, and then we end up winning the game, and you're like, fair play, you know, you knew what you were doing. So hopefully tomorrow he pulls it off again.
Someone just put an interesting comment. Someone said, "Why are people against 3-4-3 so bad when it's working?"
I'm not against it because it's working.
Yeah.
Attack.
Formation. Because
Yeah,
you
it's
have
just
3 attacking players. It doesn't make sense that we play a formation with 3 attacking.
Also, I'm not being funny. The guy thought of this on the plane to London. Like,
yeah. No, it's a good point. It's a good point, Scott.
I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Some of the comments. I don't remember him ever playing this with PSG or Dortmund.
No, it's a 4-2-2-2 mainly.
He said he thought of it based on the players.
Manager because he saw Hudson-Odoi and someone else and thought they can work as wing backs.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You can't go with just that 2 center backs alone.
He knew he was coming in before he came anyway, so he'd already been thinking about this and analysing the squad and that, and looking at them before, because it was already done like a week and a half before Lamps knew he was going to go. So I think it was just like he'd already had that time to assess. By the time he got on that plane, he already knew what he was going to do. So it seems like it was like really last minute, but I think he has had quite a bit of preparation. Not that a week and a half's a lot, but
that was a good point. But I think we're seeing that again. He is a tactical manager, so he's gonna know he's going to set up how he wants to. So it's not like he saw that it works against the Wolves, so he's going to use it against everyone else, right? But we're seeing that he wants to use it. He's setting up these games, right?
In the United game, Dags, in the United game, he played Kante with Kovacic, didn't he? And when he played Kante, it kind of like our progressive play from the pivot was not very good at all than what it was like with Kovacic and Jorginho. But he did that because of Bruno Fernandes. That was his main thought process behind.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that he's using the point that Scott made, how he hasn't really used the 3-4-3 and he thought about it on the plane. I'm just saying that, yeah, he did do that, but I think he's just seeing now that, okay, so this is a formation that I can use as well as the 4-3-3. So I think he's getting acclimatized to it, and I think he's trying to strengthen it compared to
He's gonna
just
have to switch it
see
up
the
at
season
some
out.
point.
Huh?
He's gonna have to switch it up at some point because teams are gonna start figuring this out.
Yeah,
It'll be
exactly.
next
Which is
season.
why I think it'll be at the end of the season. But right
say
now,
it-
I don't.
Maybe he's waiting for Thiago. Maybe he's waiting for Thiago.
That's a good point.
I think it'll be either next season when we get the pre-season, or he'll try it. Say, for example, that Leicester game. I think it's the second or third last game of the season. If top four's done by then, I could see him trying something new. Because if we guarantee top four, then that's when you can try something. When you
Yeah.
can try 4-3-3
In a competitive game as well, which is
Yeah.
important. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
try it against Arsenal. Just so
I
that
just don't think Christensen, I just don't see Rudiger being that guy next to Thiago Silva, right? And I don't know if we haven't seen Christensen next to Thiago in the form he's in now to see if it would work in a back four. And I wouldn't put Zuma because Zuma's
lie.
got 2 left feet, man. What's up, Lewis?
I'm excited to see what it would be like if Christensen and Silva played together. The only
Yeah,
time it's
in the form he's in now, I mean. Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's not really the best time to judge because that was Silva's first match in England.
yeah.
So I want to see how that goes now. Now he's under confidence. Loki, I do think Christensen and Silva could work really well. Like you pick Zuma or Christensen based off preference. Zuma's a lot more physical. His recovery
I'd have
tackle
Christensen all
and
day.
his aerial ability is top notch compared to anyone in the team. Christensen's technical ability though, is level clear of any defender that we have except for Thiago Silva. So it really is based on preference. But Loki, he's shown he's got the speed as well. So I think as a back two, it'd be an excellent partnership.
Could well be, Lewis. You know that. It
Who
could
do you
well
have
be,
at right
man.
back then? Who do you have at right back?
I put
James.
It's got to be James. Got to be James.
Yeah.
You know, the thing
I think Aspie's quite good in this.
For European football, Aspie could play.
You see, that's the thing that's really confusing me, or not confusing me, but that's really troubling me with this. Aspie at the right center back position is world class. Like he is world class. He is the best of the best at the right center back position. Right?
And
that's the only.
he also offers him another attacking outlet.
Exactly. That's the only reason why when Lewis made the point earlier about how if Thiago does come back into this 3 in the back system, it will be Aspie that drops out for Christensen. I would personally, I think it would be Aspie, or I think it would be Christensen that just straight drops out because I don't know. I just don't feel like we've seen enough from Christensen at the right center back position in order to replace Aspie or to take him out.
You know what's crazy? We haven't seen
qualities that would suit that position.
Can you say that again?
I guess you haven't seen him there enough, and I understand that. But when you're playing in a back five, like you're meant to be more confident anyway because you have more defensive bodies, a more defensive system. There's less responsibility on you than in a back four, which is why I'd be more confident in him assimilating into that role. He just doesn't need to do a howler. Other than that, like it's just composure for the most part, positioning as well. And we've seen Christensen's positioning is good. We've seen against Liverpool that his pace is good. We know that his aerial ability is good because he wins the majority of his aerial duels. So why not?
We've seen, right, Lewis? We've seen when Zuma and Rudiger are together, no one's commanding enough. When Christensen's with Zuma or Rudiger, no one's commanding enough. If you put Christensen next to Thiago, who is a commanding defender and a leader, I think that's the right balance. What we need because they can both play out from the back as well, left and right. Whereas Zuma can't. He's just like a destroyer, really, but he's got a mistake in him or just a hoofer to lose possession, which I hate. And then Rudiger, he's got a mistake in him. He's a bit rash at times. We've seen it. So for me, going forward in a back four, I think, yeah, why not Christensen and Thiago? I think it could work. Why couldn't it not? Especially in the form he's in.
Did we see it in the past though with Christensen and Thiago Silva as a partner?
No.
You've never partnered. I've never seen that.
No.
Only the
West
West
Brom.
Brom,
Yeah.
that's
I've seen the worst one with Christensen and Zuma. That's the worst one I've ever seen.
Yeah, because they're both not commanding.
I remember that
I
one.
would say though, hold on. I would say though, it's like we haven't really seen them at their best because I feel like for Lampard, he didn't have any clear tactical instructions of what he wanted them to do. I feel like he didn't give them that clear idea with Tuchel. he's a proper coach that will give you instructions and you know what you're gonna do. And I feel like a lot of the players were not like doing the extra work, plugging in spaces, coming back and doing that extra dirty work behind the ball, like the motivation, getting the best out of the players and like that force. That's why you look so open. But I feel like with Tuchel, it would work at the 4 and the back with, I think, like almost any pairing, because Tuchel gives clear directions, you know what I mean? And the team knows what they're going to do and how they're going to play.
But at PSG, didn't he have 3 at the back at PSG?
2.
Was it 2?
It was.
He did do. I think he did 3 at the back at Dortmund some of the time.
No, that was Favre. I don't think he
He's
played
flexible. Like he could switch it up.
But then you've got, look, if he's doing 4 at the back, you've got Thiago Silva and you've got Marquinhos, man. I mean, why would you not be comfortable?
It started
Kimpembe.
It was Kimpembe. That's
Kimpembe, yeah.
It was Kimpembe and Thiago Silva. And
That's
then you
talent.
sometimes had Kera that came back into the back 4 from time to time.
I'd love Marquinhos though, man.
He's
So
talented.
he's not playing PSG. Like that one's just done.
Yeah, I know. Imagine though.
Christensen at CDM. What you saying, Lewis?
Right now, if we played the right formation, like 4-2-3-1, maybe. But like we can keep him at the centre back for right now. I don't see any reason why we would change it. But if we weren't looking for a DM, maybe like it would be a decent option for us. Don't see why it wouldn't work, but same way I wouldn't push him out of his comfort zone right now.
How come we never tried Reece James in the CDM? We tried it like once.
Yeah, because we don't have the right back.
Oh, that is true.
Oh yeah, sure.
Like Reece James is a beast, man. He's a beast.
So good.
He's
So
going
good.
top just like
Such a
Mount is.
baller.
Yeah.
He has a lot of improvement. I feel like he'd be too casual sometimes.
Can be. I think it's just him adjusting to the right wing back role because we've been playing him as a right back for so long. Different roles.
And he avoided the injury injection, well, the surgery, shall I say. He avoided that. So I think he just be a bit cautious.
That was 6 years ago. Yeah.
That's good, but
was that against Tottenham?
Yeah, 2015 Cup final. I just worry about his ability on the turn and everything. That's the thing that scares me with Zuma. But the same way Matic wasn't really the most agile of DMs either, and we still found a way to make it work. So Zuma could still work in it.
The problem is Matic's footballing IQ, I feel, is a lot better than Zuma's, and you'd have to ingrain it into Zuma to just sit. He couldn't roam; he'd have to sit. Because if he started roaming, that's when the problems come. Because then, if he roams and we get caught, him trying to get back is a disaster. I'd take that, and apart from the height,
I just think we saw Zuma.
I'd take that last comment. I've said this before, but it's just the height. It wouldn't work.
What,
the last one?
Football.
No. Bar the height, I'd take it because the 1-on-1 he's decent, but it's just the height. He hasn't really got the height or the strength.
I feel like because going forward, he'd be in the same sort of comfortable positions that he was when he was whipping in balls to Morata in 17-18.
Yeah,
but
like going forward and like progressing the ball, I have no problem. It just
where I'm like, would he be good in that region? Maybe.
Yeah,
it's a maybe from me. But you guys got any final thoughts before I wrap the stream up?
Nah, man, just hopefully
Get that 3 points tomorrow.
Come on.
Yeah, 3 points tomorrow, please.
Yeah,
that's talking about, bro.
More of a 6 points of this game.
Yeah, get the 3 points. Let's get away from those shites, man. I can't stand with them, man.
Guys, we will be back here it's a 6 o'clock kickoff, so I should be live at 4:30 for the lineup announcements. I'll open the lines up for everyone else if anyone wants to jump in as well. So if you guys want to jump in tomorrow, feel free to hop on. But guys, I do hope you guys have enjoyed this. I'm probably going to start doing this more for my videos as well because it gets a lot more discussion, and we'll start like the first hour with a panel, and then we'll open the lines up to everyone else afterwards as well. Definitely, we'll start doing that more. But big up everyone who's been locked in. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you guys haven't done it already. Check out Chel's social. Check out Johnny's Twitter. Check out everyone's Twitter. The links is down in the description below. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.